jumped the gun. Get a little overly excited there.
And that's why I handle the tech. Oh.
You know the courier. He's always in a hurry to jump the gun.
Right?
So welcome back to another adventure of Android Shadow of the Beanstalk. So last we left off, things went kind of south, kind of fast, didn't they? Dropping off the witness, gunshots ringing off the rooftops.
Yeah, got ugly.
So bad.
Betrayal by police friends.
Ooh, is that how you're taking that?
No, not at all, because he was getting cut.
I do believe he took a bullet to help you guys escape. I'd feel bad for the guy at this point.
He could have been faking it.
You never know. As he pulled off a deception by pulling his gun out and shooting himself somewhere non-fatal. Deception to shoot oneself.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? How many XP should we have at this point? I screwed up something here.
It's only session 4, so not much.
So it should be like the first one was like 5, and then it was like 15, 10, and 10. Is that right?
That sounds right.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure I didn't overspend anything. Buy something I couldn't afford.
Overextend your experience credit.
Yeah, or spend some that I don't have.
And by the way, I will throw out, since I recently got my copy today, if you GM D&D and you like spooky stuff, Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft is a great book, by the way. It's a great book. You could have like 3 or 4 campaigns in each of the settings that they give you for the Dreadlords. And they basically pick a type of spooky monster and make that domain for that Dreadlord. So they've got everything from Egyptian up to werewolf to fiddle-playing werewolves.
Oh, wow.
Fiddle-playing werewolves.
So I can definitely not say enough goodness about that book.
Very cool.
And of course, it's got some great notes in there for players of here's how you play in horror. Stay in character. Don't break the element of the game.
Yeah, that's good advice for anything, but for that motif, I can totally see how that would be a must.
It can be difficult to do horror settings when players are cracking jokes. Or like one of my, the Dungeons and Dreads group found out, don't kill civilians that are just walking through the forest because they'll come back as revenants to bite you in the ass.
I think I watched that episode.
That makes sense.
Our rogue now has a granny revenant coming after them because they killed her son and her grandson in front of her.
Oof.
In the defense of the sorceress who fired those bolts, she was told by the rogue that he gave the panic sign of honeysuckle. Our rogue in that game is a jerk. And she sadly rolled a natural 20 for perception, so she heard the code word honeysuckle.
Oh, jeez.
So, screen swipe, you guys are driving down the freeway. You've got a bloody hand smear on the passenger seat, on the driver's window. You've managed to escape the scene of the active shooter across from the DA's office. What is your guys' plan?
Oh, did we not end up at like a
A vet?
vet clinic to try to get this guy patched up.
Okay, so yep, Maestro, I believe, was looking for a vet clinic,
Yeah,
and
I
he,
think.
I think we were there actually.
as we have like driving through town montage, as all of a sudden our courier spins the car around and slides right into an after-hours veterinarian clinic.
I look back without saying a word and just raise an eyebrow, like, yeah, I'm just that good.
So you guys gonna like break in after hours, or are you gonna just walk in the front door?
I mean, I presume I'm sorry, I missed this. It's an after-hours clinic, but it's open, right?
That's kind of what I'm asking. Is you going there to one that's open still, or one that's closed that you're gonna have to break in? I'm giving you the option since Maestro found the place.
Well, Maestro, you're the one who found the place. What were you looking for?
Well, I would assume one that's open. I mean, I don't
Okay.
think we were wanting to commit crimes.
Okay, so you guys pull up.
Unless we can't afford it.
You guys pull up, and the clinic's open. Some guy comes walking out with his, genetically modified iguana pet that's got a prosthetic limb. He says he looks really happy as you guys come screeching up to a halt right in front of him, and the lizard just gives this like gulp. Okay, so you're gonna grab the witness and drag him inside.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think we should bring his sister too. I don't think we should leave her in the car.
Mm-mm.
Well,
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
need to drag her though. She could probably walk on her own.
Especially with her brother being injured, you have no problem
She's probably
thinking
not going far. Yeah.
that she's
Yeah.
gonna come squeezing out with him.
Yeah, I'm happy to carry him in.
Okay, so you guys kind of drag him in, and they're like looking at you. There's like two people in the waiting room with their pets. The big rave right now in the market is the purse-sized giraffes. So you see one of those in there, and the lady's like babying her little Pomeranian giraffe because it's got a little sniffle. And the receptionist just kind of looks at you guys like, I don't see a pet, but I see a bleeding man.
Oh, it's not the first time, I'm sure. That they've seen this, I mean.
It might not be the first time, but the receptionist is giving you silver dollar eyes.
So I'll go up to her and try to schmooze a little, like, yeah, it's about as bad as it looks. I really hope you'd be a friend, and at least get us out of the sight of everybody else in the waiting room before we freak out your clientele. Maybe we could get hustled to a back and then talk about how we can get our friends some help. Does that sound like something we could do? Can you help us out?
She's kind of looking at you, but go ahead and give me a charm roll there. Let me set the difficulty up for you. And your story point should be refreshed, by the way, to 3 and 1. So go ahead when you are ready.
Oh, I need to sync. Alright, let's see. You know what? Let's get off to a good start.
Let me get that upgrade for you. See how quickly I tempted you? I love it. Okay, go for it.
I was there syncing anyway, so I figured one-stop shop. Okay.
Okay, so you kind of like come up to the counter and look all suave and do some Shui coolness there, because I'm totally gonna steal Shui from Batman Beyond. As you kind of look at her and she's like, this isn't the first time you've seen this, and she just like kind of like rolls her eyes at you, at your smug charmingness, and then immediately blushes into it because you see she like tries to play coy, but she like you can totally see she's falling for your line. And she's just like, what breed of canine are we recalling him for the records?
I'm not sure he's a stray.
Unknown. Stray.
Mixed.
Who will be paying the bill?
Well, I think that we're going to want to talk about that when we get behind the curtain. I mean, I can assure you we'll take care of this, but we might want to, get him out of the waiting room as quickly as possible, at the very least.
Okay, and she kind of looks at you and kind of gives this mild sigh and eye roll, and she hits a little button behind her receptionist desk where she's just like, Fido, can you come outside and pick up a client? Go ahead and put them in Observation Bay 2. And how many owners will be going back with the stray? As she looks down at her papers and references the name to make sure she's saying it right.
Well, I basically just look back to, I assume that the sister's coming back too. I look back to Maestro and Darwin and just like give him a questioning look, like, you guys coming back too, or?
I mean, I can sit in the waiting room as lookout if need be.
Might not be such a bad idea considering how this day is going.
So Darwin gives you this non-committal look if he'll stay here and be the eyes.
Yeah.
Kind of points to his.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna drop my. What?
Go ahead and say what you're going to say, Evan. I think we were all waiting for you.
Okay. I couldn't tell who was talking. I was gonna say. I was gonna say under my breath to Maestro, like, maybe you can work that magic and find a way we can afford this.
Wow.
That's funny. He thought that really loud at you. You totally caught the thought stream. Okay, so she basically is like, okay, so we'll say 2 folks. And immediately she says that, the little curtain kind of opens up and there's this android that you can see. He's got, it looks almost like that dog protective armor that you see policemen use when they train their canines. He's got chewed up pads up one arm with like a padded mitten on his hand, and it's all chewed up. And he's got a little multi-tool hand that's meant for grabbing cages or collars. And he comes out and he just looks at the witness. And he goes, there. And he pats him on the head like a little puppy. And he says, and what's our little boy's name today? And he looks right towards Darwin, who's holding him up.
Rex.
Is Rex a good boy? Is Rex going to come? And all of a sudden, in like his belly region, a little box opens up, and a little treat dispenser pops a treat out, and he just looks at you, Darwin, and he's like, "May I give him a treat?"
I don't think he's really in any condition right now.
And you see
maybe after.
Little box closes immediately. It's like, owner consent not accepted. Thank you. I will not give him a treat. I sense he must have a sensitive stomach. Come on, Rex. Would you like me to carry him in, or would you like to bring him on his lead?
Please carry him.
And he kind of carefully, with super gingerness, picks the guy up, and the guy's like moaning, and he's like, Rex. He just looks at you and he gives this incredulous Rex. And he's like, shh, there, Rex. I know you might be experiencing discomfort, and I know you don't understand my words, but my calm, hushed tone will help you relax as I bring you to the observation room. Any owners who would like to see, I see that we have requisition for 2, maybe 3 owners to come in the back room. You may come with. If you wish to stay, the receptionist will give you a receipt for the deposit of your pet. And of course, right there where our courier's standing there talking to her, a little receipt prints out of the desk right at your hands. As she typed in his name as Rex. Okay, so Darwin, you're going to stay and watch, stay as lookout?
Yeah.
Especially since you see the occasional person give your car a funny look because it's got blood streaks on the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so who all's going in? I mean, her sister's definitely going with Rex, air quotes.
Right.
I'll go if nobody objects.
Yeah, you tell me.
I don't know. I don't know what good I can do out in the waiting room, and I seemed like I've been able to have a good influence on these two so far.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely trusts you.
Especially her.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Like, wherever you want me, man.
I grabbed the receipt thing and and again in an undertone, see what you can do about this.
I just like how he puts that. What this? And I could practically see his finger pointing to the area. Okay.
Hey.
So is anybody doing anything while he's heading back there with her? I'm sure he's consoling her nicely. Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
There.
Wow. You say that with such earnest, carrying it.
I mean, he was just flirting with the receptionist, but that was to get him in the back room, right?
Right.
It's been a no good, awful, very bad day.
I'm going to grab a dog owner magazine for cover and find a good tactical seat that I can strategically watch the door from.
Okay. Kind of have your fancy gold laser pistol hidden but not hidden?
Yes.
Okay. And what about Maestro?
I'll find a seat across from him.
The one that's got the best Wi-Fi?
Probably, yeah.
The best Wi-Fi? The city's internet system is called Wi-Fi. Okay. So immediately, you guys go back there into the back room, and you see that there's a bit of an auto diagnostic there, and he kind of pats poor Rex on the head, very condescending puppily, and says, "One moment, sir and madam, please step back while the diagnostic system does its diagnostic. You'll see the red light turn green when the diagnostic is complete." And he basically, he looks and his eyes blink a light and the diagnostic computer blinks its light. And, it asks for patient consent, and you see this little auto yes button pop up because you accepted the receipt, which on the back of the receipt, you see it's consent for scanning your pet. And immediately it starts doing this ticker, 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 ticker. It sounds like an MRI, but it's doing like 3 or 4 different types of cool scans at once. And immediately it's popping things up like human, cyber enhanced, gunshot wounds, projectile still in body, immediate medical assistance required, possible loss of vital fluids. And basically it's all these things you blatantly already know just because you know. And you're like, durr, as you're looking at the computer, and the android is turning around to you, and he's basically verbatim saying what the thing says. He's one of those PowerPoint describers. He's reading the PowerPoint word for word of what's popping up on the diagnosis machine, but in a very calm and a very concerned tone to get you to know he understands the stress and grief a moment may have like this. Do you require physical comforting at this time?
Absolutely not.
And she just kind of like throws herself on your shoulder crying, as her brother's just like rolling his eyes at what's going on here, and he's like totally trying to reach for the cabinet that's got some medical drugs in there, and the android is just holding him down like a struggling wet rat. And then, you hear someone walking up and some voices, of like, and if anything happens, make sure to bring him back tomorrow or give us a call and we'll have a drone dispense the medicine to your address. And immediately you hear the hand grab the curtain and strike the curtain open, and you just see this woman in a lab coat. She's got her little scanning goggles up on her forehead. Her hair's kind of disheveled. She's got different clumps of animal hair on her little doctor's coat. And she looks at the girl sobbing on your shoulder, you kind of like giving the android a look, and the guy struggling on the table with the android holding him down. And she's just like, and she immediately pulls out her data pad out of her big doctor's pocket and hits the button to see what's going on here. And we have a stray named Rex who is suffering from a gunshot wound. And she looks down the doorway that goes to the receptionist area, and she just like opens her mouth for a second, and then just turns to look at to you guys like, would someone please explain?
Well, this is where like that advantage from that last roll comes in. Could I potentially have her at least slightly, maybe just a little bit understanding of the situation?
And it doesn't hurt that you completely dropped the receptionist Daisy's name. Daisy said it'd be cool.
Yeah.
As part of that advantage. As she just immediately, as soon as you throw that out there at her, she's like, and she kind of cuts herself short from whatever she was going to say, and she immediately puts her data pad down on the table, and she goes into full-on trauma vet mode, where she kind of throws the guy down and looks at him and says, if you don't stop squirming, I will have him restrain you with restraints. We have a muzzle if needed. And the guy kind of like immediately gulps and looks at you like, you're going to let her do this to me?
I'm going to give him a very serious nod.
And immediately she grabs this band from the overhead system where there's tubes and things for automated, auto dock stuff, and she kind of slaps a band around his forehead, and you see all of a sudden his temp and all his other vitals start popping up on the screen, and she's just like, and how long ago were you shot, sir? And as he starts to talk, she looks right at you, since you seem to be the coherent one without tears streaking down your face, and he's like, at any time did he lose consciousness?
He did not.
Excellent. She blasts this bright light into his eyeballs and makes sure that his eyes dilate. And she immediately begins doing her doctor spiel, where she starts asking him and you questions at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I'll just keep up the responses, on his behalf.
And she's like, so more importantly, who's paying the tab?
I've got a couple buddies out front that are gonna allocate some funds.
And she just looks at him and is like, oh, you've got buddies out front. Is this one of those situations?
Isn't that obvious?
Wow.
Of course it's one of those situations. But I'm not saying it in a rude way, just in a kind of like a wry, shrug, just throw up the hands kind of way.
And immediately you're watching her do her trauma vet thing, and she's like, what were you shot by? Is obviously the aggravated gunshot wound is a very, very severe trauma, because the dice say she done fucked it up. I mean, she done didn't succeed in fixing it. As she gives him some, TLC that recovers some of the strain he wasn't missing. But she pulls out this big hunky bullet out of his side, and you see this big tungsten steel slug that she pulled out of him, and you're like, whoa, what the hell was he shot with? An elephant gun?
He took it like a champ, though. Was
this a tungsten rod drummed from a space satellite or something? As she's totally, she realizes that the bleeding's not stopping, and the android does this automated recording of someone's panicky voice saying, Doctor, the bleeding has increased. You have not clamped the artery that needs to be covered. I recommend, and then you get this very generic drugstore commercialized voice saying, Doran Brand Stim, along with a good painkiller. And immediately the android's arm kind of pops open, and there's a compartment with, a chemical painkiller needle and a stem needle for her to use. And she grabs both and just goes, stick, stick, next to the bullet wound on both sides and fires them both in. And you see the guy kind of like, ah! And she's like, it'll be okay. She smacks his bleeding wound. She must have the worst bedside manner ever. As immediately she, puts an IV into his arm, kind of, that 1 try, 2 try, 3 tries, I got it. That's how I'm translating the failed medicine check. And she looks at you guys of like, he should be okay. We're going to let him sleep. Let's go out in the hallway. As she pulls the curtain and you're realizing these rooms are really just separated by a curtain and one of those little plastic bio shields that basically just keeps germs from moving from room to room. You could totally cut it with a knife if you needed to. As she, she looks at both of you and she says, okay, so I see that he's a stray. Which one of you is the concerned citizen that we'll call the owner at the moment? I assume it's you, and he looks at Esme, who's still kind of bawling on your shoulder. And then Esme kind of blinks, and Esme looks at her, and immediately she gives this, you can see she's compartmentalizing as only a doctor can. And all of a sudden she's like, you hack! You didn't help my brother at all. You just gave him drugs and sedated him. I saw how you... And she just goes into this slew of doctor terms for stitching the artery that was bleeding. And you just see the vet's kind of shrieking back a little like, oh, shit, you know what you're talking about. And she's just like, okay. Remember, first, there's no such thing as pet malpractice. You can see me in small claims court if you have a problem with my treatment style. Second, what is the situation? And don't be coy.
I'll wait and see if Esme's going to say anything first, and if she doesn't speak up, then I'll jump in.
Okay, she kind of looks at you like, this is my first real crime, and she's looking for you to give her the cue to jump in on.
I say, well, technically, this isn't. We're not the ones that committed the crime by shooting someone.
I mean, remember, she's a college girl who was kidnapped by cyberdocs.
Right on.
There's a reason why they just had to wave a pistol in her face, and she cooperated.
Well, here's, all coyness, as you say, aside. This is sort of one of those witness protection program things gone wrong. If you can kind of catch my drift on that.
And she's just like, uh-huh. So, why did the police have you bring him here?
Well, because it's because of the police that the witness protection thing went wrong. Or rather, some police.
And you say that, and she's just like, uh-huh. And then all of a sudden you see her eyes kind of twinkle as, it connects. And she's like, oh. You better not have brought any problems to my door.
Trust me, there's not going to be any problems. We wanted to get in and out and not darken your doorstep a moment longer than we need to.
Well, he's not doing too good. He's going to have to stay at least overnight to heal up some.
Is it at all, can't move him even a little ways just to get him someplace a little more out of your hair, obviously?
And
give a little
Esme
rig to bring with us?
Esme kind of under her breath kind of pops off the, well, if you had performed the surgery correct and didn't do more damage taking the bullet out, and you immediately, sense that you need to get between these two. Because she's now got that courage of the crisis is over. So she's starting to think that I could have done better if I hadn't fallen apart. Are you willing to kind of...
if she started to get a little too much, I'll just kind of put a gentle restraining hand on the back of her arm, just kind of just a gentle pull her back just a little so she doesn't get up in the doctor's face.
Okay, so immediately she kind of like, oh yeah, you're here, and she looks at you and she just like apologizes, and she apologizes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, if you have to go and take your trouble with you, I could always give you a portable IV pack loaded with some medicine if you can afford it. And she kind of looks at you kind of questioningly of like, I can't afford to lose any of this stuff.
Well, what tune are you singing here? How much does this stuff run?
And she's like, I can give it to you fully loaded with 3 doses of painkillers and 3 doses of stim just in case. If you need it, it'll automatically dispense if it senses any life-threatening conditions. But it's about 800 credits for one of these. Basically, think of it like a diabetic pouch, the insulin dispenser. So basically, you put an IV with a little pouch on a hip pouch, and automatically it'll fire one of these off at a certain interval, or if it senses that he's dropping in his stats. And 800 is not bad, She, Esme kind of nods that's not bad.
Okay.
She's like, what secondhand shop do you buy your equipment from? Those should be running at least 1,500.
What money does she have?
She gave you the money she had, remember?
So
I
that
have
was
her card still, technically, right?
Yes, but remember her card's no longer good.
Oh, I don't remember that, but okay.
So I'll I'll have to, consult with Maestro to find out if we, consult him, as he's handling our finances at the moment.
And the vet kind of looks at you and she's like, gives you this dismissive shake of her hand. She's like, well, I'll go rig him up right now, and you go talk to this Maestro of yours. Maestro. And she just rolls her eyes like, oh, everybody's calling themselves Maestro nowadays. I'm Maestro of drinks. I'm Maestro of surgery.
You are the Maestro of surgery. Gotcha. All right. Just so we're clear.
And she kind of looks at Esme and she's like, you sound like you know what you're doing. You can come help. And she just kind of looks at you like, you're not, and she gives you that pleading look of like, you're not going to run off on me, are you?
Not going anywhere.
In
fact, actually, let me see. Actually, I can just I'll stay there. I can just shoot just a quick pad message over to Maestro and say, hey, where are we on the bill?
As Maestro,
I give them a rundown on how much they want and what the.
I was gonna say, how much are we talking about here?
Yeah, I give you a quick rundown on my pad and send it to you. That way, I don't have to leave them.
As Maestro's deleting all these pop-ups for dog shows and buy dogs and genetically engineer your dog, have your dog cloned. Do you need spare dog parts? Have your dog cloned.
Great.
It's like watching that one movie Arnold did with the cloning one, where you can get your dog cloned.
Oh, yeah, the
on the 3rd day or something like that. 6th day, yeah.
So how much are we talking here? What's the bill looking like?
Well, I send you the stuff on the pad. She said 800.
Well, that's for the pack, right? And then plus what?
Well, we're not paying for her non-existent treatment. We'll give her the 800 that she asked for.
Hey, she still used medical supplies to pull the bullet out.
But also, Maestro, that doesn't include a dose for you.
Well, if you can arrange, I'm sure if we arrange 800, I'm sure she'll take it just to get us out of here.
And you want me to get this, Hal?
You're like a hacker guy, man. You get in and out of the system. Don't you guys know how to move money?
So you want me to perform illegal transfers of money? Okay, just checking.
He wants you to steal some money from the internet.
That's what I'm checking. To just,
I thought that was implied.
I just wanted to assure because we've typically kind of been above board more or less. So.
Well, it's either that or just run off, and that would not be above board either. So if you take it from the interwebs, it's a victimless crime.
That's how much the courier knows about technology.
Okay, then.
As Maestro's about to
how much I know about technology.
Maestro's about to send his Nigerian prince email list out.
Pretty much. So her card was locked or what?
Basically, it hit the maximum per day, and then there was a lock that came in place for some reason. It's almost like whoever owned it had the pop-up saying you've reached your maximum for the day, and they're just like, I haven't used my card today.
Yeah.
I mean, it lasted a good long while. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, it did.
Don't know how long she's been holding on to that from one of her clients.
Either that, or you can, contact our employer to see if we can have some kind of expense fund. I don't know. But I don't know if that's good procedure or not.
Wow. Let me look at something here.
As immediately he's got a file that when you click, it launches a GoFundMe and a 10,000 email chain of Nigerian prince. Please send 20 credits to this email address so I can get out of prison in some horrible place.
Yeah, that's probably almost the safest way to do it.
I'm a Nigerian prince in prison on the moon.
Because, otherwise, I'm, stealing shit.
I still think that technically counts as stealing shit. Remember, the courier thinks cyber.
We were using all day stealing shit.
Well,
sort of different.
She gave you the cart, so it's all legit.
Yeah, I don't know the
we
full
didn't,
details.
We didn't ask where it came from. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't get all the details on the card. Just
You just swiped it. That's all.
She could have permission to use the card. I don't know.
I mean, she's a college girl. I mean, it's totally her daddy's college fund.
So let's see. I'm trying to think of best options. I mean, I could try to give them, pull up a police account, give them a police account to charge it against, but.
You could totally do that.
So.
I mean, those guys are always 4 months behind.
That what?
They're always 4 months behind noticing anything like that if they notice it.
Right.
On the other hand, do you really want the police to, have it in for us?
Well, it's part of their. We're just, billing them. They're paying for what they were going to take custody of them. So,
Totally, services rendered.
That makes perfect sense to me.
I mean, I'm totally thinking if once you successfully hand him off, Darwin's totally getting a informant check.
Well,
please,
of course.
Please deposit this check in your account so we know what your account is. I mean, totally anonymous donation for your witness testimony. Okay, so how's Maestro going to pull this one?
I'm afraid a GoFundMe would probably take a while.
GoFundMe, I got 15 minutes. Give me money.
Yeah. Let me see what I can find as far as a sundry account or something through the police or something through their programs or something that I can maybe dig up and provide the number to.
Okay, so into the police network. You've got on your character sheet if it takes off any blacks to take off any black dice, right?
Which skill are we using?
It's going to be hacking. Yep.
Yeah, so with the hacking, select your character removes black from any checks they make using this skill. Each additional purchase. No, so one purchase. So 1 black for hacking skill.
Okay, and it's on your character sheet, right? The automatic to take out.
Let me look.
If not, I can just click one off because I wasn't sure because with the different hacking skills.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. No, I do have. Oh, actually, I have 2 black minus. So yes.
Okay.
Oh, I think because of something else I have.
Okay, so go ahead and make your roll.
Okay, yeah, just a second. I'm just looking, double checking some stuff here. Do I have that skill? You beat me before I could get up there to do that while I was already down looking at lower stuff.
I was like, if he's gonna look, then I'll just flip one. I mean, it's all those damn puppy and cat pop-ups are coming up on your web search.
All right.
Does your dog or cat have worms?
I mean, isn't there credits just lying around on the web to pick up?
You know, it's like hunting Bitcoin. Bitcoin hunter.
Yeah. To deactivate one of the icebreakers. Okay. So,
There's a website that's like Cowboy Bebop's bounty hunter website where it's like,
yeah.
have you located any Bitcoin on your internet? Let Bitcoin Hunter know so we can join in the fun.
Are we ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. See what happens here.
Nice.
You know, the only thing I got to say about that is you found better dice than my Friday group's dice because their dice sucked.
Wow.
Okay, so you go in there and you're looking through files and files, and there's this whole cyberspace thing as you're diving deep in the net into the police department, and you're seeing cyber ice for the police department looks like badges and dogs, totally the stuff that they would buy. And you're zipping through there, and you're going to take a point of strain because some pop-ups come up saying, do you need to report a crime? And you're just like, it's ice, and then you found out it wasn't ice. So for your 3 successes, you find a slush fund where you can really easily get a victim-free transfer from the Vice team's witness, reward money that you could drop up to 1,500 credits.
Nice.
But what would you like to use for that big-ass Triumph you got there? I mean, it's pretty. It looks like a police badge. I asked the good questions. Down comes the question of, do you want something for the future or for now?
Well, I was kind of thinking that we
maybe leave the back door propped for yourself, so to speak.
I don't know if I want that per se, but I was looking at maybe just taking the whole 1,500 and it goes into kind of this anonymous account that I create.
Okay. So some suggestions, by the way, are hard shutdown if you want to shut the system down, blurred signature, or scouting ahead, learn detail about one unencountered ice in the system type of thing. Or identify an exploit to reduce the difficulty next time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't plan on having to go into the police system on a regular basis, so.
Nobody ever plans that. Okay, so what would you like for it?
But the extra, I mean, instead of just paying against that account, having that money deposit into a generic
a number account
attached account to anybody or to me.
Alrighty, so it's just
I can spend from later.
Okay, so as the successes, I'll give you that you can definitely do that. Now for the Triumph, do you want to do it anonymously so the computer loses the account number?
Yeah.
Or would you like to double the cash amount?
Ooh.
See how I bait the hook there? I'll be like, I know you're cash poor. Would you like more money?
Well, I mean, we're already getting some extra money, but no, I'm not going to be greedy. I'm just going to have it be lost.
Okay, so basically, this is just one of those anonymous cash transfers that the officer obviously forgot to put in the system.
Yep.
Those sloppy cops. Okay, so you got 1,500 credits in an anonymous number account that you can gladly use to pay your bill.
Yep.
Okay, the bill itself, by the way, is going to be 200 credits. The item itself, she kind of like waves over to you saying, "I've got the itemized bill for your friend if you'd like a emergency revival pump / used. Oh, sorry, / lightly used." And she does the bunch of typing really fast, and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna take off that fee. We're gonna take off that fee. You know, I can offer you a 10% police and military discount if you can give me your friend's phone number." And she kind of blushes as she looks, glances back where he went.
No, security. No, sorry, I can't help you there.
And she's like, "Oh."
I'm sure tempted, but.
And she looks kind of,
if you ask him, he might be willing, but.
Kind of for a second there, she looks kind of embarrassed, like, "You two aren't seeing each other, are you?"
No.
Okay, well then I'll definitely try asking him when he comes up.
Yeah, but just not in the habit of giving out people's numbers.
Okay, so with the military and police discount, the total will be 900 credits.
Okay.
And you send her the numbers, and the numbers come up on her screen, and the numbers dial down, down from the 900 to 0, and it says paid in full. And she prints up the little receipt, and she's like, "So you said his name was Rex, right?"
Oh, yeah.
No, you're for your dog.
Oh,
and she gives you this winky face. And she basically writes on the receipt by hand, "Rex paid in full, date and time," and a smiley face, "Call me." And she writes her phone number. She says, "Can you make sure to give that to your friend?"
Sure.
As she kind of just blushes a little. And she's like, you can go back there to talk to them if you'd like and let them know it's paid in full. The doctor should be getting notified now on her data pad.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. I'll just let my buddy know. Oh, I send a quick message across. Oh.
Pops up on my smart specs.
So I'm trying to make sure here. So she interested in
Dante?
Or Dante. Okay.
Yeah. She's interested in Dante. I mean, he was the one up there flirting with her to get the help.
Just making sure.
Apparently, Dante's doing really well with the ladies.
So I sent him a message saying payment or paid in full. Heart.
Meister, you're a cool guy. You're great with a computer, but you're not my type.
Not the one interested.
As the doc gets the message where it's paid in full, and she finishes attaching the pump, and she kind of like hollers out to Dante of, "Are you going to need help getting him out to your car? Because he is going to be sedated for the next 2 hours."
Yes, please.
And she's just like, you heard it. The customer is always right. And you hear the android kind of just mock in her own voice. It comes back saying, "The customer is always right. Come on, Rex, you're a good boy. My diagnosis shows you'll be sleeping for 2 hours and 40 minutes by your height and weight. There, Rex. It's okay." And he just starts talking in this low, soothing voice that's meant to calm animals at that perfect vibe where it's deep and chill, and it's daddy rocking the baby to sleep type of thing. And you see him kind of, pop out with the curtain, holding Rex in his arms. And he tries to hold him as softly and cupped as much as he can in his cradled arms. And he says, Please show me the way to your car. Rex needs to sleep in the trunk or the back seat. Please tell me you have dog restraints in your car. You know it is unsafe to have your...
We have the right kind of restraints for his breed, don't worry.
You are a good and responsible pet owner. Please lead the way.
I know. Okay, yeah, I'll say to Esme, you see, everything's gonna be okay. Now let's get out of here.
As Esme's kind of, got one hand on your shoulder, like... Okay, so, you screen swipe to, the android is putting Rex in the car, sweet and lovingly saying, please make sure not to bump his head. He does not have a concussion, but a concussion could impede his healing process or lead to embolisms.
Well,
Got it.
real quick in the
Don't
lobby,
give him a concussion.
I stopped Darwin and was like, oh, here's your receipt, and handed it to him with the phone number side up.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh, that's what you mean by that. I kind of took it the wrong way.
As Esme is oblivious to this, worrying about her brother.
I'll just give a friendly but somewhat non-committal wave to the receptionist as we exit.
As
I
she
can
just
use the receipt to wave and make a non-committal smile.
she just gives this little barely audible giggle as she ducks behind the little wall in her receptionist desk to hide that she's giggling. The old lady with her Pomeranian giraffe just kind of rolls her eyes like children.
Now her I'll wink at.
And she just does this, oh, how dare you!
And that's when I head out.
Okay?
Head out.
So you guys are back in the car.
Yeah.
When you get in the car, Darwin kind of relaxes just enough to realize that he's got a message waiting for him on the system from his police connection.
Ooh. What's he got to say?
As basically it's a brief message with a sick face, which is basically an emoji face with a thermometer in the mouth and a head wrap, saying, I'm still breathing. At the trauma center. Is the witness still alive? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Eggplant, smiley face, thumbs up, thumbs down, and you can see he must have mooshed a bunch of emote buttons.
I think he might be having a stroke.
Or he had a medical droid shoving an IV in his arm while trying to message you.
I'm gonna type back mostly. Mostly we got treatment.
I was going to say, you're not one of those folks that would say mostly ...
Well, we don't know. As far as we know, he's healed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't back there, so.
He was given a bunch of drugs, and he doesn't seem to be leaking as much.
I mean,
yeah, we need to find a place to for him to sleep it off to finish healing.
We got discreet treatment for him.
As, a little while later, you get discreet question mark and alien picking up a cow emoji. But only one emoji, so he must be okay.
I'm just going to back. He's in good hands.
As then you just get this message that if you squint your eyes and look at it just right, it could say Farfignugan, or it could just be someone just button mashed on the phone or rolled over on it unconscious. With the eternal 3 buttons that someone's sending a message, but no message is actually being sent. So somebody must be laying on their keypad. Almost like you think he might be sedated. As the camera pans back to his hospital bed, he's out cold with his cheek on the data pad, mushing buttons and drool hitting the numbers.
Well, good news. Officer Estrada made it, and he's concerned for our pet. But I think he's not really coherent right now. And I showed them the emojis.
I'll say you don't have to keep referring to him as a pet. We're in our own car now.
Yeah. Wow.
As he's out cold
No.
back there, and she's just like glaring at you guys. He's not a dog. He would totally be a cat because he doesn't listen and he runs off when you leave a window open. As she just kind of smirks and looks over at Darwin
Sounds
and
sounds
Dante.
pretty accurate, actually.
So, trying to recall. So the captain or whatever she was definitely seemed on board with everything.
The district attorney, the assistant
Yeah.
district attorney. Yep, she was totally there to pick up her witness and make the case of her career.
Yeah.
That was her golden ticket to get out of being an assistant DA and being a DA next election. Because
Whoa.
busting corrupt cops is how you get promoted.
So I will look her up.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's
Okay, now the
we need to
question
figure out what
is,
to do.
how deep of a dive are you doing so I know what the difficulty is? Are you going for average or hard?
We could go for street address. We could just drop him off with her once he sees us.
She wakes up
I'm-
because you let gas in the building, and she wakes up with him in the bed next to her.
Yeah,
Little-
no, I'm kind of at this point looking for her contact.
Okay, so just an average roll.
I would think so. I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't think she would have like super secret, you know.
Hmm.
Access
She's a
or
DA. She must be fairly clean. Or wait,
Yeah.
she's an assistant DA, so she's still working to get the job, not paid to keep the job. So I've got an average in there for you.
Okay, and this is a net search.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Alright.
see how deep you're going to dive into finding out all about her family and her cheerleading
No,
career.
no, I just want a contact.
And that one roommate she dated in college.
Just want a contact.
Okay, so you basically get her, her internet dating website contact. You get her Beanstalk book contact address or her Facebook. You get her office number, which is like the first thing that popped up. And then you get her personal P.O. box. She doesn't have her address listed,
Okay.
which sounds like she's fairly smart.
But I got her phone or her
Yep.
pad.
And you do know, by the way, from basically checking her basic information, that her pad does go through a two-step system where basically it goes to a proxy server and the proxy server sends her the message. So it's not a direct connect.
Right.
And she does have ex-military training. She was a JAG officer, basically, in the military.
Okay.
Because that's fairly public-ish records. Mainly because it was
Right.
on one of her commercials for going for assistant DA.
Okay.
Okay, so you have that info.
Yeah.
What are you guys planning to do next before I call a quick break?
I think we need to find a place to lay low for until we figure out where to take this guy. Like, any suggestions about a place to take him? Just another discreet hotel or something.
Probably.
Okay,
And
so
my plan is to send her a message. So.
find another dive hotel to crash at undercover, and send her a message of hey, what the heck?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Next steps. Coded
go
captain
ahead and
contract.
send her the message. What exactly are you saying in the message?
That's what I'm running through my head at the moment.
Shall we
if
take
wanted to
5
take a
and-
break.
Okay, let's take 5. Well, get your drinks, smoke them if you need it, whatnot, and we'll be right back in 5.
Roger that.
All right.
About like a operative or a sly way to kind of send a message.
We have your
Be
Cheetos. All right. Be right back, guys.
Yep. Hello.
And some cyberpunk ice cream followed me back.
Nice.
So, are we all back?
I think so.
Sounded like it, yeah.
Yep, sounds like we're all back. Okay, so you guys go zipping off to what part of town? So I whip out the map and close down the character sheet because our courier should be able to move the car as need be. Apparently he can't. Our courier can now move the car as need be.
Easy. Yeah, it can.
I'm like, I totally should just give all you guys control of it.
Alright, so that's a good question. Does anybody have any suggestions? Oh, you know.
I mean, after all, there is a chain of no-tell motel in every district.
Of course there is. It's that kind of world we're living in here. I got a question, actually.
The answer is Pumpermill.
Oh, okay. Good. I think, I'm not sure if it's on my thing or not, but let's see. The Vendetta Blood. I mean, where, like, I've got a you know, a relationship with them. What part of town do they kind of operate out of? Is there a specific area?
They're out of the Esmeralda's district.
Esmeralda's, where's that?
Over here in the streets.
Oh, okay. And the where we dropped them off for the where we were supposed to drop them off, was that the Manta district over here?
That was, yep.
Okay. So, I would say we could take him here because I know some people there. You know, people that, you know, I owe them, so they're not going to mess with me until they get their favor paid off. So we might be able to lay low there.
You're an investment.
If I am
Whatever you
valuable to
choose,
them,
man.
they will hopefully not mess with me. Okay, that's my only real thought. Anywhere else is neutral.
Yeah, you're driving, man.
All right, well that's where I'm gonna go.
Damn, you drive fast.
Just remember, Maestro's saying driver picks the tunes, passenger, shuts their cake hole. Okay, so you guys pull up to the no-tell motel conveniently with drive-up service, as there's the automated kiosk asking what room you would like, blah, blah, blah. It's got parking on multiple levels. It's conveniently 3 stories tall with parking on all 3 levels. That way your car could be right in front of your vehicle for the maximum discretion.
Maestro, do we have funds available for this?
Only 100 credits, and he's got some in his special spending account.
Yeah, they don't know anything about that extra money.
That's why I asked. Is he handled the last time? Can he handle it again?
His mama raised him right. You ask before someone pays your bills.
Wow.
Hey, I don't have any. None of us actually have any money.
How much are we talking?
What did he say? It was 100.
Yep,
like
just
that?
100 credits.
Per
Yes,
hour? Per
100.
night? Per week?
For the night. Hourly rates are different.
Wow.
And the doctor said one night, or was that going to
One
be
night.
enough?
Just that he should be out for the next 2 hours, and he really needs to sleep overnight.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get it for
Let
one
me
until we figure out where else to go.
Yeah, so here, let me see what I can do. Here you go. I squeezed this out from somewhere else and didn't get caught.
Nice. You're good, man. You're good.
Of course. And a room towards the back or something, preferably.
Okay, so you guys get a nice covert room. You park there. You kind of drag his butt up there since he's still way out of it. He's totally doing the whole groping on his sister in the non-sexual way. Of like, I think this guy is a really good guy for you, sis. And she just kind of blushes at Dante because, apparently you're getting the idea that her brother has an idea that something might be going on there.
Well, we only met 2 days ago, and all. It's been a long time to cultivate the.
In the cyberpunk world of Android, 2 days is forever.
Yeah, but they haven't had really any time alone at all.
In the cyberpunk world of Android, you always never alone. As Maestro hides some videos he's been recording.
Right.
Okay, so you guys drag him up to the room. Somebody give me a stealth for how discreet you guys are. Because it's almost like there's somebody out there looking for you guys.
What? Stop.
No.
Well, I will. I can give the roll, but because I am indistinguishable, unrecognizable, if they're trying to recognize, they get an automatic failure.
Okay, so I'll count that as an automatic success for you.
Oh, okay. Should I put that in, or you put that in?
We'll just put it in after.
Okay. All right then. And you ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay, you got it.
Sneaky, sneaky.
As I'll now know that, oh my god. That's awesome. Okay.
Okay.
So you've succeeded at being super sneaky. However, the cost for that is it is going to cost you 2 strain for the 2 threat, because
Okay.
you've been doing like breakneck turns and doubling back, and and when you're going down the hallways with this staggering guy, you're like shoving people back with your shoulder to make sure that they don't get seen by some half naked guy getting ice from the machine. But you do have 2 big damn triumphs. Look at them like 2 big old owl eyes looking at you, going hoot hoot.
Right?
Okay. Well.
What would you like for those big damn sexy triumphs?
Okay. So this. So it just the success means we got here without anybody seeing us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think for one of the triumphs, I think it says for the duration of the scene. And then okay. Let me think. So maybe for one of the triumphs, not only did we get here without being seen, but I managed to take a kind of funky route that completely threw them off. So they not only didn't notice us, but they think we're somewhere completely different.
So you made sure to like purposely stop by one ATM machine in the wrong direction and wave at the camera?
so to speak.
You told Maestro to hold the guy's face up against the window as you guys drove by.
Press his face up against the glass.
Okay, so excuse me.
Easy there.
As the ice cream cone tries to kill me. So you've totally shaken any pursuer, good or bad, off of your tail.
Yeah,
Which, that's a good thing. But what about the second triumph?
How about for the second triumph, whoever it was tailing us, we were able to see, in doing this, I was able to see and identify who it was that was doing the tailing us.
Well, the majority of the surveillance would have been like cops or cameras. It was mainly the cameras that you were avoiding.
Oh, I see. So it wasn't like we were literally somebody was trying to follow us.
Maybe there was, but if you'd like to spend your triumph, I'll tell you for sure.
Yes, I would like the triumph to see if there was actually somebody trying to follow us, and if so, who they might be.
Okay, so at one point during your driving all over town montage, you had Maestro put his face against the window, and the camera took his picture, and facial recognition software immediately identified him in the location, and you kind of found a nice discreet place to park and watch. And immediately when you do, you kind of see 3 vehicles come zipping up, and Maestro, of course, tells you that those are unmarked police cars. As you see 6 guys pile out that have that typical armored coat, investigator or undercover agent look, but they're obviously wearing armored clothing, and when they came out of their cars, they came out hot with weapons. And they kind of like piled out, and you immediately recognize 3 of them as those guys when you were in that little Russia area where you picked him up. Remember how you guys had someone tailing him?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately you recognize 3 of these guys as the ones that were tailing him.
All right. Hey, Maestro, snap some pictures.
Da-da-da-da, da-da.
Right.
Okay, so when Maestro snaps those pictures, since you got triumphs, you don't need to worry about running it. Are you wanting to identify them, Maestro?
I don't know while we're on the move, probably not, but I don't know. Yeah, what the hell? Might as well. Why not?
Okay, as I'm typing some names in real quick. So immediately his little search comes up as Officer Demos of Vice, a detective. He managed to do a quick deep dive because, Triumph. and Phil Calvin, an undercover agent, and AI officer Casey Ferris. Those are the
Okay.
3 faces that you managed to identify out of the 6. The big one being the and that's internal affairs, not AI.
Hi.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I was
IA.
like,
Apparently,
artificial intelligence officer?
I was typing too fast.
Yeah.
So you have an internal affairs cop, an undercover agent, and a vice detective.
Yeah.
Thankfully, none of the 6 happened to be Darwin's connection.
That's good.
Of course, he's also at the hospital nursing a big-ass gunshot, so... See how I
No,
put the
he's
seed
totally
of
cool. We
doubt
can
back
trust
there?
He took a bullet for us.
All right.
And you got this nice, chill room, you know. It looks like the bed sheets have been washed at least once in the last month.
All right. So I grab a chair and I send our little DA chickie a message.
Okay, do you send it to her Facebook profile, her dating profile, or her work number?
To her pad.
Personal
like her
pad?
phone number.
Okay. Okay, and what does
So-
this message say?
So it's a invoice from Max Specialty Market. Sorry, your special delivery of hydroponic Brussels sprouts was not able to be delivered on first attempt. Please advise on redelivery. We do not want the package to spoil.
Very nice.
At least
Okay.
most of them already has.
As you know, you sent that message out, and then about a good half hour, because she's not the type of lady to sit there and keep watching her data pad. She has a job to do. All of a sudden, you get a ... followed by a please identify yourself for my grocery delivery ...
So trying to be discreet. She doesn't want you to be discreet. She wants it to be obvious.
Or at least less obtuse.
Is she that stupid?
Maybe she frequently orders hydroponic Brussels sprouts.
It
Yeah.
doesn't hurt
Maybe
for
that's
this
like
law-abiding
a regular
DA to
thing.
say, identify who you are so I know who I'm talking to.
This is the special delivery team that normally delivers for your partner.
And she,
What's
she kind of, comes out and just says is he still alive? As you're just like, really? All this work, all this build-up?
Mostly.
Yes.
more
At
so
this
with
time,
each passing out?
several bad apples on the roll.
As she replies back with this copy-paste of a quote about bad apples and bushel and spoilage. As, she basically gives you a time and location, and it's a picture of a apartment complex.
Okay. I will find it.
It comes up in Neo Broadway. Really nice part of town.
Oh, okay. I was like, where? Wow. She gets paid.
Remember,
well.
the closer you
That's,
get to the route, the more expensive the neighborhoods.
No, I know. I'm like, wow, she's makes a lot of money as an assistant DA.
And basically asking if 1 a.m. is too early for
What time
my
is it?
food delivery. Quote. And she literally puts quotes. You're sensing
is it
she is
now?
not a spy. It's basically about maybe 8ish.
Oh, okay, so he'll have a few hours to rest before then.
Yeah.
Which means, in theory, he should be awake from his anesthetic.
Yeah.
And she basically says, sends a message to you of what kind of security do you have with you?
Pretty much
Our
none.
standard delivery team.
Followed by, you see the ... of her typing, and then it stops, ... of her typing, and then it stops, ... of her typing, and it stops. And then this goes on for like 2 minutes. It drives you nuts. Because you can practically see her with one finger typing. And then finally a message comes through saying, and is your security team legal? In air quotes. She may have been trying to practice how to say that discreetly.
But of course.
Got a contract, I mean.
Yeah.
Although we're not exactly a security team.
Yeah, well.
Hey,
We've
she
got a
was
golden
advised
laser
y'all
pistol.
were a security team working for the police department. So she's just confirming that you're not hired muscle on the street.
Ha!
All above board.
And she gives winky face, thumbs up, winky face.
Jeez.
Great.
As she then proceeds to shoot you this 12-digit alphanumeric code, and then she puts the door code.
Jesus Christ.
A 12-digit door code.
Page apartment, and she basically gives you 27C4 on the call box when inside the building.
Okay.
How secure is this connection?
Not at all. That's why I was trying to be a little more discreet. But you just basically see me just grinning, or not grinning, but like just this like look of anguish. As you can see, I'm like having a conversation digitally, and just shaking my head like, oh my god.
Face constantly in your palm.
Especially when you're like, you really just gave that information out over a non-secure line.
Just you see me sighing, shaking my head, and like. Alright.
So
Alright,
that
so
does.
we
you don't look
have
happy.
a 1 o'clock drop off at this apartment, which she doesn't understand the subtlety of the conversation, so we can expect any number of problems upon delivery attempt.
Why more problems?
Wasn't he supposed to sleep overnight, though?
At
Well,
least 2
hours.
hours.
Yeah, that's 5 hours from now. It'll give him a chance to.
Well, night ends at midnight, technically. Actually, it's 0001.
You know, it's not my dog. I don't care.
If he gets sick and dies, you have to dig the hole for him.
Dig the hole. Not
Got
dig the
something on
grave,
him. He
dig the
should be
hole.
fine. Got some kind of pump thingy on him. He should be good.
We'll
He'll
just tell
be
his sister he
fine.
went to a farm upstate.
To some people who had a really big yard for him to run free.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Or
guys...
just take him and have him look at the flowers.
Oh, tell me about the rabbits, Lenny. Tell me about the rabbits. So you guys, with your big damn Triumphs from before, it's making it super easy for you guys to get to your car where you parked it all hidden and subtle. As, I'm sure our courier throws the garbage bags he hid the car under, off to get the car as you guys come carrying him out, dragging, because he's still like, what's going on? What's going on? And sister's just like, shh, go with them. We're getting you to safety. Okay, and our courier is being super sneaky in his driving, right?
Yeah, I mean, it never hurts to be careful.
So sneaky that you even found some soy burger stand napkins and cleaned that blood smear off the outside of the car?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you guys head where you're going, and now how good of a job do you do cleaning your car up? I mean, it is kind of shot full of bullets and...
Well, nothing we can do about that, but, basically any sort of, obvious DNA evidence.
Next time, keep a load of hydrogen peroxide in the trunk for that, Okay.
We are going to a nice neighborhood, so,
Yeah, that's my question, because you're going to the kind of neighborhood where cops actually do their job and patrol the city streets.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do whatever I can. Obviously, I can't do anything again about structural damage and bullet holes, but I don't know, I can at least get the blood off it.
Okay, so you basically, before leaving, go and spend some time cleaning the car up. I'll give you a blue dice for that. It'll kind of offset the black dice for the bullet holes.
Maybe tape over the bullet holes. A similar colored tape.
Duct tape.
Bunch of squares of tape that look suspiciously in a straight line.
Yeah, it's like, okay, not bullet holes, but duct tape covering up bullet holes might actually draw more attention.
Well, I don't know.
What are they hiding?
That's how the CH-46's bullet holes from Vietnam on the helicopters I worked on in the Marine Corps basically had little square patches of metal over a bunch of bullet holes on the plane.
Because, hey, it's still just as armor-piercing as the rest of it.
Right?
But they weren't driving through ritzy neighborhoods.
Very true.
So give me...
CH-46 is not a ritzy neighborhood aircraft or helicopter, sure.
Give me either I'll let you pick whether you want to pick driving or stealth or deception. Because deception would be if you're driving up and see a cop car, you do some convenient lane changing. Stealth would be you're just driving sneaky and pulling into parking lots every time you see some 5-0 up ahead. And driving would just be you're using some badass drive casual skills.
Okay. Actually, before we do that, while we were resting, could we do a strain check or something? Because I want to know how much
I was actually going to say you should be full on strain now, because you guys did get a couple hours of rest time.
No, okay. Great.
So while you guys were at the hotel plotting and planning, you basically all got some nice calf and some vendor food. You guys are going through all the good vending machine food.
Yum.
Okay, nice. All right, I will. Is the difficulty set? Because I'm going
to
drive
set.
Casual.
Okay, gonna go for drive casual.
Oh no.
Okay, so what would you like to do with those 3 beautiful, succulent advantages you have?
Oh boy. Okay, so this role was to avoid drawing attention.
Mm-hmm. As all of a sudden you look back in the rearview mirror and there's some red and blue lights flashing. But I'll get to that once you tell me what you'd like to use those advantages for.
Okay, so we obviously drew some attention. Could I use this advantage to make the attention we drew not aware of who we are? Like, we drew attention, but not from the people who are trying to snipe us.
Okay. So basically, what you wanted to make sure that yes, you drew attention, but nobody's calling in the make and model of your car that would pop up immediately on somebody's looking list. Okay, so basically, the 5-0 that you have attracted wants to get the caller all on their own, because They're just suspicious. So immediately, you guys, you go and you feel the tone change when you get into the good neighborhood. The VR displays coming up across the road are classier. It goes to the Calvin Klein cologne commercials. You're seeing some kind of sexy short commercials with sexy ladies with a guy wearing slinky shorts over his cybernetic bod. And you kind of you're feeling like we're getting there. We're just just about 10 minutes away, and immediately you kind of you're driving casual, and you just hear the whoop whoop, and the police lights light up your rearview mirror.
Of course. Well, I will comply. I'll pull over.
Okay, so you're pulling over to the designated space. And immediately the two officers get out of their hover vehicle and they come walking on up, all classic police style, where one's, the guy that's walking up on the passenger side is about a good 3 steps behind the other guy so he can cover the other guy. And immediately the officer, you can tell, is taking a long time walking across your vehicle. It's almost like he's counting the bullet holes that are covered with little X's of tape.
He doesn't have that much time.
As he kind of walks up and just as he's about to tap his stun stick against your door for you to roll the window down, do you roll down ahead of time?
Yes.
Okay, so you immediately roll the window down. Is there anything special you're doing?
Well, obviously I'm gonna at least try to play this straight up and be cooperative, so I'll have the window rolled down, be prepared, hands where he can see them, make sure I'm trying to look, completely compliant and non-threatening.
Okay, have your wrists on the steering wheel so your hands are clearly up.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you tell the rest of the passengers?
Say let's, in that quick second we have.
In that 2 seconds that you have, yeah.
Well, more than
okay,
2
basically.
seconds. Lights come on, siren. We got time to do something. Yeah, I mean, pull over. And
okay, let's Sorry,
I was gonna say, in that time frame, I would like to try to do something as we're pulling over.
Okay.
So I'm looking for a shop or business a little further up the road that I can link into and activate their alarm system.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay, you do find you basically look for the cheapest alarm company's directory of their clients. Go ahead and give me a roll for that.
And that's gonna be hacking.
Yep. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Going for the upgrade. I like it.
Giving that to you.
It's almost like you respect and fear the use of the dark side points.
Oh yeah. It's bit me more than once.
As immediately the cops walking up to you see pop-ups over your head saying, "Hack in process! Hack in process!"
Exactly.
So go and ready.
Alright, here we go. Yeah, that's all right.
So immediately you find Al-Kaziz Falafel Shop, Al-Kaziz and Sons Falafel Shop, has this stupid cheap discount rate security system that you can tell is totally just operated by ICE. It's all computer run. There's not an actual person monitoring anything, and none of their systems have been updated in a year for the security company. So easily, with your 2 successes as you're hacking, you get access to the basic features of the alarm. So you can set off fire, police, or police urgent robbery in progress.
Yep, setting off break-in.
Okay, so you're setting off that there's a break-in in progress, urgent police response needed.
Yep.
Okay, is Darwin doing anything?
I am definitely not pulling out my golden laser pistol.
Are you going to attempt to conceal your pistol?
I will subtly shift to make it. Yes.
Just sit
Okay.
on it, man.
Go
Yeah,
ahead and
basically.
roll me a skullduggery or stealth. I'll give you either or deception.
Stealth, please.
Okay? Just by using your pure natural sneakiness, you're going to hide it in a place where when you move, they're just not going to look. As opposed to deception, where you're just hiding it in the glove box. Or skullduggery, which you're constantly shifting it around, moving it as they're searching you. Go ahead and roll when you're ready. You're rolling against their perception.
I am.
Oh,
Ready.
and hold on. Don't go yet. I'm giving you a blue because you have a head start.
Oh, thank you.
You have that moment where it's like, dude, hide the drugs.
Are we ready?
Yep. Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
No.
Wait.
Express
Oh, I
much?
rolled wrong. I rolled wrong because it didn't. I'm sorry.
Wait.
Let me try that again.
Holy crap! You succeeded with only a blue.
Wow, that's the best blue dice all night.
Can I try that again? I didn't. I did it wrong.
You can
I'm
you
sorry.
can totally do it. Yep.
Thanks. Are you ready for me to do it
Yep.
again?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, so immediately you see the 5-0 on the fuzz is on your tail, and you immediately do this whole and the gun just disappears somewhere. What would you like for your 3 advantages? I mean, that's a really good suggestion they've got there.
Decrease time taken.
Basically, in like a sneeze, you made the gun disappear.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't keister it, man.
No.
It's a big golden gun, but on the plus side, it's gold, so it doesn't tarnish.
Yeah, well, there is that.
No, because I want it to be hidden but accessible, so I didn't keister.
So I'll definitely give you a blue dice since it's hidden, and another blue dice because you put it in a way that it's quick for you to draw it and kill some cops if you need to.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of dark when I say it that way.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I mean, I'll shoot to kill. It's the only way I know how to shoot.
I'm going to shoot to discomfort.
You never shoot to kill, you shoot to stop.
As you tell the officer in real life, I kept firing until I felt safe. Just because I had to reload and reload some magazines too.
If you shoot to kill, then you are going to jail.
That's going to be manslaughter charges in a real life situation.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, to be fair, I don't plan on shooting in a golden laser gun in a real life situation.
Well, I would hope not.
I totally expect to shoot a golden laser gun eventually. Of course, I was promised floating cars by 1990, so.
Fair enough.
So these cops are. These cops are coming up, and you're all having that super stressful moment we've all had when you're pulled over for just some BS thing, and the guy starts to pull his stun stick out to knock on your doors. You roll the window down and put your hands up on the wheel. You start capitulating completely, even before he's asked, because you know the routine. And just as the guy leans down and he kind of looks at Darwin, and he kind of looks what's going on in the back seat, and he kind of looks over at Dante, because that's where his vision lands last as the driver. And he sees your hands up, and immediately on his little radio, you clearly hear the Unit 547. We have a 1097 in your immediate proximity. Urgent response necessary. We have a code 42. Repeat, code 42. And he basically looks at our driver here and basically taps your windowsill. And he's just like, you got a good reason for being in these parts?
Actually, I know it seems late and all, but we've got a meeting coming up here. I know, late night. It's a pain.
And he kind of looks.
Something I can help you with?
He's like, you do know that you've got some parts of your car dangling off dangerously. I think you may have hit a porcupine. And it puts some holes in your vehicle that have some detritus. as he's looking for a word for debris. Hanging from the back of your vehicle, if you get to where you need to go, especially in the neighborhood up ahead, I would highly recommend you go out there and put a little wax on your finish. But I'm going to let you off with a warning this time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And he kind of does that,
Take care of that.
taps your windowsill with his stun stick again, with that ominous thing of I'd stun you if I had more time. And he kind of looks at his buddy and says, "You got a 5-5 on that call we just got?" And his partner like thumbs up, and he grabs his little radio, and you hear him call back that just Unit 547 coming to the response. And he just he says, "And you kids, keep your noses clean."
Thank you again, officer. Stay safe.
And he just goes back and does that good honest cop. He's got that probably only 5-10 years till retirement look going, as he gets back in his car with his young partner, and they go zipping on past you, and he kind of gives the wave, the 2-finger wave.
All right. Well, that was a fortuitous coincidence.
You're welcome.
Someone's
Oh, that
stealing the
was you.
falafel.
I should have known.
They
I said
eat
it
at that
before, I'll
place
say it
every other
again.
day.
You're good, man. You're good.
As you guys continue on, you notice there's quite a few camera presence being provided in the neighborhood you're going in. You're totally seeing a lot of those display panels where it shows your car and then your speed miles. Occasional little buoy drones that are watching you guys pass. You can just feel them taking your picture as you're going past. Total skin crawl of privacy.
I'm trying to draw as little attention as possible, as before.
Yes, as
despite
before.
my previous failure.
So you guys, when you get to the place, you see it's got like below ground parking underneath it, or curbside parking. Unfortunately, all the curbside parking is full. Do you want to just double park, or do you want to use the underground parking?
Actually, in this case, the underground parking might not be such a bad thing, because it'll get the car out of public view.
Okay. So you go to the underground parking. It's basically your typical space age parking where you push a button, get a ticket, takes your picture, and you go inside. I hear a sigh. Is Maestro going to do something?
Can I make it think that it's her face? The DEA's face?
I would say yes. You can totally pick up in its files. It's got pictures of her driving in here a lot, so.
Right.
Okay, so it is a very smart AI, because it's almost like people spend money for this kind of stuff. So I'll definitely let you try to do this. Subtle, isn't it?
I saw that coming.
I paused to the count of 3. I counted to 3.
Yeah.
I even exhaled between 2 and 3. That's a fair and honest shot, I call. Okay, so go ahead and roll when you're ready.
Alright.
As you're totally like, I'd like to buy a week stay in here.
Nice,
And
nice.
Maestro is like a champ as you immediately look at it, and you see it's got the little QEC barcode scan that you scan, and all of a sudden you go through its little records, and in a flash, as you're seeing in your eyes these folders coming up with the different guests, and since you have a room number, yes, it's organized by the guest's room number because it uses facial recognition software. You pull up a picture of her car and her face on the 2 cameras, and basically delete your face and camera of your car and insert hers.
Nice.
So the claim ticket you have that basically you would punch out is prepaid since she is a resident, and it has identified your vehicle and your driver as her.
Nice.
You
Look
shady,
at that.
shady
Not
bastard.
even going to cost us money.
And what would you like for your advantage?
Blue to the next person to do something.
Okay. So you guys get to the parking lot. It's got a convenient elevator. That, are you doing anything fancy for dragging him into the elevator? I mean, at this point, he is awake-ish. He's just a little groggy. And, still has gut shot.
Yeah, nothing fancy. Just park as close to the elevator as possible.
Okay, so you find a nice, choice, convenient spot. You guys kind of are you all going to the elevator?
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Probably should.
Yes.
So as you walk up to the elevator, it does have a nice little warning sign saying weapons scanner in elevator, video surveillance in elevator, and weapons scanner on departure of elevator. Basically has that picture of a camera and a picture of a hashtag, the no symbol for guns. And it has a little hashtag asterisk at the bottom saying, residents with weapon permits will be permitted to bring weapons on grounds. Because, of course, they may or may not have law enforcement in this building. Gotta let those guys bring guns.
Now, as a courier, I'm going in and out of buildings like this all the time, presumably. Or when they say no weapons, like I've got a palm stunner. Is that considered a weapon that would be prohibited?
It might be. Usually, it depends on what setting the weapon scanner is on. It may consider that just a personal defense weapon since it is non-lethal. It just depends on what the weapon scanner is set at. So if it's set at like a 2, it'll let like knives and stunners go through. But if it's set at a 1, it'll pop up and say, this guy's got a knife. Or this guy's got a scanner, deposit it into the receptacle.
Yeah. I'll risk it.
So my my pistol doesn't identify as such. It identifies as a long-range hole punch.
Unfortunately, it is identified as by the government in one of 2 boxes that must check: firearm or not firearm.
But it thinks we're the assistant DEA because we have her codes and we scanned her ID through.
Only at the parking system.
Yeah, but we are.
But we've got her codes.
Yeah,
But you don't have her face when you get up to the weapon scanner. Or her identification.
Have the weapon that she has registered.
But is this in the building where we enter the 20 billion digit number and call her or whatever?
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll follow those steps real quick and.
Okay. So you put in the 20-digit number and the elevator door unlocks. It opens up for you because it identifies that you have the code. Are you going to risk bringing weapons up the elevator with you? The conundrum. I like the conundrum.
I mean, I can try hacking it again, but it's definitely a hard hack. But
yeah, we wouldn't want to draw attention. You might just want to.
As you fail your hack and the non-lethal response happens and gasses the elevator, and everyone has to make a resilience check, which I know you're probably not going to make. Why is it that non-lethal is so much harder than lethal?
Hey, I got 2 green resilience. I guess I'll go stash mine in the vehicle, in the trunk.
Yeah.
I don't want to take any risks. I'll even stash my palm stunner.
Okay, so you guys stash your weapons in the trunk of the car. You look at Chess, and he's just like, when he sees you throwing the weapons, he kind of like makes this despondent look, and he's like, I'm gonna need some help taking my weapons off.
Weapons.
And he kind of rolls up his torn up, ripped up sleeve and kind of does this, pumping his arm like he's wanting a trucker to honk their horn. And this wicked looking scythe blade shoots out of his cybernetic arm.
Oh.
And he does this little cha-chink thing with his finger, and you realize 2 of his fingers are small laser, projectors. Basically like Derringers, but if you get shot with both of them, it sucks. And his sister just rolls her eyes and looks at him and says, "Do you know how illegal those are?" Do you know how much jail time you would get if some cop found you and you had those on your possession, which are built into your possession? And he just like immediately is just like drunkenly wilting back of like, shh.
Esme, I think he knows.
As she immediately, pulls out the toolbox that's conveniently in the trunk of your car that you have, because it's convenient that you have a toolbox in the back of the car. And she happens to be a cyberdoc, so it shouldn't be too difficult for her to take them off real quick.
Of course not.
Because it's almost like it's her thing. As she immediately gets to work in the fastest fashion ever, and my God, those purple dice are cruel tonight.
Yeah,
But you hear this really loud clink as she throws the tool in, and then clank as she throws this 3-foot-long scythe blade in, and and then she literally just takes his index and his ring and his middle finger off his right hand. With the left hand with that scything blade, the arm's still functioning, but the other one, she just pops the fingers off. She's just like, you don't deserve it. And you're going to cooperate, or I'm going to take the arms off, too.
Oh, shit.
As he just gives us, like, obviously it's this lifelong relationship they have where she's just browbeating him, and he's just like, okay. She probably gets it from her mom. As, you guys go walking in the elevator now stripped of weapons. It's fairly intimidating. There's a moment of tension as you're putting that 20-digit code back into the elevator's keypad as you hear some tires squeal on concrete, and you just realize it's some asshole driving out. As you get the code, you get in the elevator, you feel really calm as the doors close. You see the mirrored finish reflecting your reflections in the elevator. And it basically has one button to go to, which is lobby, so you click that, and immediately gives you by riding this elevator, you consent to be weapon searched. And you feel the weapon search happen. There's actually just like some goofy indicator beam that it's happening that has nothing to do with the weapon scanner, because it's just taking a picture of you. And it's like, weapon scanner concluded. No mechanical weapons found, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
As there's a beep. And then it gives this mild beep of minor organic weaponry located.
I can't take my fangs off.
As a little hollow display pops up showing big teeth. And it says, presence nominal. Security risk minimal. Proceed to the route.
That hurts.
As the elevator pops open, the doors pop open, and you see that there's 2 double arches. But these are one arch, then another arch, and a plexiglass cage that you can see that there's 2 security androids. And they seem to be holding what it looks like. You guys seen them before. They're non-lethal, basically sandbag shooters. They shoot those sandbags at you. They hurt like hell, but they don't kill you. And, of course, they have a tasing weapon underneath, so they can tase you with these sticks built into the bottoms. And they're just kind of looking at you non-committal android style of, like, they're waiting for you to walk through the 2 different scanners.
I'll walk on through.
First scanner checks you, says no weapons. Second scanner says no diseases or biological weapons. And the doors, basically the double door opens to let you in. And there's this big kiosk where it's got all the rooms listed and a map. And if you don't know who your person is, you can describe to the little microphone wand what your person looks like, and they will try to identify the resident you're looking for.
Well, we have the apartment number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go straight there.
Okay, and the rest of you guys walking through the scanners?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Chess walks through, all kinds of lights pop up about illegal cybernetic modifications. None of them are lethal or threatening. But there's it comes up saying that there's a data memory port. Basically, it's a way to carry information inside you in a flash drive. There's comes up as there's 2 cyber compartments in his body. Contents empty. There's, multiple weapon port connections. So you can power a weapon or, just insert and attach the weapon. And of course, she's elbowing him saying, really? Really? And he's just like,
It's a mess.
That's why I joined the Cro-Magwai. They were given free upgrades. And all of you guys cycle through the security door, so you're all in there with Dante. As Dante's hitting the page button, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Did
it.
it.
Okay, so immediately a vid screen pops up, and the same woman that you guys saw out on the street when the gunfire started pops up on the screen. She seems to be like, she's got some clothes quickly thrown on, even though she knew you guys were coming. She was probably going through different clothes to decide what she wanted to wear, and she's just like, "You came," and you can see the little camera is panning around because she's like looking on the monitor on her end, so you sense that the camera that's facing you guys is panning around all of your faces, and she's like, quick, get in the elevator C. And of course she hits a button and you see the 4 elevators there. The third one kind of pings with a green light saying it's operational.
Be right up.
Is this a setup?
Probably.
Find out.
Paranoia. So you guys get in the elevator. You see immediately that the button for her room number, her apartment, which is basically a floor because it's, nice big spacious rooms, is already lit up. So as soon as you guys all get in, the sensor detects no further movement. The doors close. This beautiful operatic music is playing. Super annoying.
She's just the assistant DA.
She's just the assistant DA.
Okay.
And immediately the doors open.
Bam.
You guys walk in and there's another security door. Because after all, just in case someone penetrates the security. And then immediately she comes up and her door opens up and she just waves you guys in. And you see she's got a little pistol in her hand. And she's like looking, even though you're in a small 10 foot by 10 foot, it goes from the elevator to her apartment door. Like she's looking around for danger in that 10 foot and 10 foot square.
Yeah. Like, we're only in Fort Knox, but hey, yeah.
Her little 38's gonna help in this situation. As she waves you guys. And you notice she's basically just wearing, a large nightgown shirt and basically yoga pants. Doesn't even have shoes on. Her sense of casual attire is kind of, relaxing.
Considering the circumstances, kind of relaxed, yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it.
It's the future, I guess.
So you guys come on into her apartment and she immediately closes the door and she hits like 3 or 4 different security measures. You notice there's like a mag seal on the door and then she has a manual throw bolt in the floor that goes into the floor's, reinforcements. And then she, puts this itty bitty slide chain that will do nothing, but it's there for psychological reinforcement.
So, basically as soon as I'm in, I just want to kind of just do a scan of the room.
Okay. So as you
visual scan.
Give her apartment the once over. Go ahead and give me a perception check. I've got the difficulty in there. As somehow it seems you will not miss the 20 armed guys in there, and I'm kidding totally. Okay. So you've got a threat for a point of strain because you're stressing, waiting for the 20 guys to jump out of any coat closet. Paranoia is good, especially when they are out to get you. So you succeed to look around and you basically see this really nice apartment. It's got an entire third of the 3 walls that this apartment's made out of is just one clear plexi window that looks out into the city. So you're seeing the streams of traffic lights of cars and buoys and, the skyline of the city. It's a beautiful view, which again, like Darwin's been saying, and she's just an assistant DA. You kind of scan the room and you see there's a very large view screen built into the wall that's playing the news, which is totally replaying the news of the cop being dragged off, by androids to medical. And you kind of, wave over as you see a few flags at first that are folded into triangles, and immediately you kind of recognize them as someone who died during the war 8 years ago. And she has 3 of them mounted on her wall with pictures. And the pictures look like people that are too old to be friends of hers, most likely like parents or friend of parents type of thing. Like uncles, aunts.
Apropos for Memorial Day.
Yeah, gotta throw it out there for Memorial Day. And you kind of notice there's a disassembled, not for practice, but disassembled for a basically a keepsake of a military service rifle. Looks really modern. It looks like something that was could have been issued last year. And it's got a picture, and as you barely glance at it and kind of catch it, you see her with her squad. Even though she was a JAG, she still was, active military. And then, of course, you see the line of actual degrees that she had from school. She's quite proud because, of course, you see in the picture there's I won't give you details right now, but there's her and the same 3 people in most of the pictures. But what would you like for that triumph?
So basically, like, this is the kind of place it's the one way in, one way outdoor.
Yep.
Okay.
Depending on what you use that triumph for, I might give you something else. You're basically 20 stories up.
Huh. So there are 2 ways, but.
Okay. Well, for that triumph, I would actually like, if possible, there to be. I would like to be able to notice a kind of an unconventional but reasonable escape route should we need to take one.
Interesting that you asked that. As you kind of immediately after you scan for danger and you scan for ambiance, your eyes kind of go back to scan for exit strategy. Because you're ready to parkour out a 20th floor window. And you notice that what looks like it could be an air conditioning unit against the window, there's 2 air conditioning units, but the 3rd air conditioning window is very different. And then when you kind of look, you notice there's a tiny, tiny red lever that someone painted over the directions on it. But you recognize these from your courier duty on high-class buildings. And you all of a sudden have a flashback of a high ritzy guy's apartment complex where he was showing off his security measures to you because he wanted to brag about his new place. And the box that you see there is totally one of those emergency rappel kits that you would open the window, pop this kit, put the vest that's inside it on, and jump out the window. And the rappelling line would slow your descent before you hit the ground. Super low tech, but almost 100% guaranteed use every time.
Is it made for one?
The size of this one tells you it could be used for 2 to 3 people.
So it's like a little cart, or not a cart, but like a basket or something.
Well, it looks like a armored AC. The ACs that you have at hotels that face the window.
Yeah.
They blow up at the window. But basically, you would pull the handle up, it opens up, and then there's a rack with straps on. And you put the straps on, and it's got a built-in rope, and you would basically just jump out the window, and like a cat burglar. You know how they had those descenders? That they can fall with the rope, and it slows them down? It's basically exactly that.
Well, if there's 3 of them, 3 of us, we're all good.
So yeah, in case I see that, and I'll when there's a chance to let the others know about it discreetly, I will. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it zipped. I don't want her to think I'm ready to bail already.
So immediately she kind of rushes you guys into her living room and gestures for you to have a seat, and she picks up her little remote and she goes, Dexa, turn on music volume 5, playlist Girls Night Out, and all of a sudden starts playing some K-pop music at a slightly louder than a hushed tone, and of course you paranoid types out there thinking she's doing this because the place might be bugged. And she kind of gets close to you guys, that way you can whisper at a decent tone without having to go, what? And she's like,
now we know it's bugged.
She's not gesturing or anything like some people would. She's not thinking that far into it. She thinks, everybody's this paranoid, right? As she's like, I don't believe you made it here okay. The detective is going to make it. He was rushed off to medical aid, and thankfully everyone else that was shot in the crossfire is going to be fine except for, and she basically talks, she pulls up a picture of one of the gangbangers. And he's like, he sustained injuries during the assault that he didn't recover from. And she looks immediately over at Chess, and she's just like, I need to know that you will testify against who you know and what cops are dirty. And he's just like kind of still a little buzzed, from his drugs, and he's just like, I will do this under one condition. You make sure to keep my sister safe. And she's just like, that's fine. And she kind of gets up and goes over to her data pad, and she looks out at the window, and immediately she's like, Dexa, privacy mode on the window, and the window turns to like a stark gray. As she basically pulled the electronic shutters on the window. As she gets a data pad, and it's got the witness protection program, basically. It's like 15 pages of witness protection program stuff, and she's just like, read and sign this if you're wanting to go into witness protection, and that you're willing to testify. And as he's basically kind of drunkenly looking at it, and his sister basically is grabbing his hand and reading the data pad, she looks over at you three and says, Are you testifying as well?
Oh, hell no.
Well, I'm like, here, and I pull up my data pad and show her the images for the and identities of the three. Here's our information. There's your pictures.
Ooh. And immediately she goes over and grabs a card off her, she got this little card Rolodex. She pulls a little business card out and she says, I need you to send that information to these 3 sites.
Yep.
And as soon as you look at it, you can see it's 3 basically safe data dump sites.
Yep.
One is publicly known DA records. The other one is a public library, but it's a secured data dump. And the third one is to a privately owned one.
Yep.
And you swipe right and send the file.
Yep. And
she just looks at you guys, and she, she's like, his sister's zipping through the pages. She's like, okay. Put your thumbprint there, sign there, and spin on the DNA scanner if you don't want to touch it with your finger. And that last part's a joke from her. As, she looks at you guys, and she basically, who are you all? She has this very pleading look in her face, like, I want to know who the hell you big damn heroes are.
What's the name of the organization we work for? I don't even remember. Do I have it in my notes? The Karis Agency. Are we not supposed to tell people that, or should we?
No. Karis Agency is the public name for your agency.
Yeah, that's a little. I'll just say Karis Agency.
And she kind of like, I've not heard of your organization before. As you know what Maestro's answer is going to be.
Is this the DA saying it?
Yeah, the assistant DA. She's like, I've never heard of that agency.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'll pull up like the most minimal, like whatever the front information comes up for it on a base search.
Okay. Helping the helpless since 20X93. Are you in trouble? It's basically like the Equalizer spiel. If you're in trouble, call me.
So, and then I'll say, well, I'll look around and say, as nice as this is, I'm sure plenty of people who might need our services. So just keep us in mind.
Ooh. Do me a favor. I'm going to definitely give you a free upgrade because you're big damn heroes for her. I mean, big damn heroes. A blue and an upgrade. So go ahead and give me a charm, or I'm assuming charm for you. As you're immediately throwing your business card out there. Even if you don't make this check, it's not bad. It's just, let's see how fangirly this assistant DA gets.
I like fangirly.
Oh. Okay, let's 2 upgrades and a blue versus her discipline.
Like, friends in high places,
Yep.
Is it set?
Yep, it's set.
Seriously.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
How?
Wow.
Oh,
She is very disciplined.
gosh.
That's the thing. So she
You came
doesn't
across as too cocky.
fangirl on you as much per se, but she totally is like she's listening and wants to know your story. But when you start doing the suave, you kind of immediately see her nose wrinkle as she's like, I'm ex-military. I've seen those type. As soon as you start to suave, you sense that it turns her burner to cold instantly. She's just like, oh, you're those kind of guys. I sense that you're mercenaries and not good do-gooders.
Mercenaries can be good do-gooders.
We're concerned citizens. We care.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to have people that can do certain things and make things happen for the good.
Mm-hmm. And currently at that exact moment when you're like trying to suave her and she's just like it almost looks like she smells something unpleasant.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Those
sorry.
20 people that you didn't see? Yeah, well, now they're here.
And immediately the fob in your pocket for your car immediately starts having, because I'm assuming you put your fob alarm in silent mode, right? So it just vibrates.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to interrupt this spice.
As immediately your pocket starts getting the
Okay, I'll just kind of discreetly is it just an alarm or does it give detail?
It's just an alarm saying someone is tampering with the vehicle. Which thankfully in the 20X century, car alarms are a lot better than they used to be in the earlier centuries, where it actually is someone actually is doing more than just popping the handle. They're roughly popping the handle or impacting the car somehow.
Good job.
So,
and it's constantly going off in your hand. It's
yeah.
So it's repeatedly being set off, and then all of a sudden it goes dead silent.
Maestro, can you either Maestro or Assistant DA, can we get any way we can get eyes on our parking spot? Something's going down.
I look at her first because it's like, yeah, she can.
And she's just like, what are you talking about? And she's like, she looks in the air to her imaginary butler. Dexa, show camera what floor were you parked on?
What floor were we parked on?
You can totally just make it up. Play your agency.
We were parked on sub-level 2. Sub-level 2, near the elevators.
Camera sub-level 2, please. And it's basically, it asks her for her code. She kind of looks at you guys as she says her code. And she's just like, please don't write that down. And immediately Dexa, the AI for the complex says, permission granted. Here is the general camera. And it pops up this camera where it shows 3 gentlemen basically futzing with your car. They're all wearing some kind of clothing that seems to interact with the camera. Almost like, that infrared camera clothing that basically will flash bright white light if it's hit by an infrared camera. So it kind of covers up your it just tries to disguise you. And you clearly see 4 people basically trying to bust into your car. Well, you see 3, and 1 was crawling underneath your car, did something, and then came back out.
Oh yeah, we're not going back to that car.
Meister's totally thinking that's why the fob stopped buzzing.
My gun's in there. We gotta go back.
Well, both guns are in there.
Yeah.
So
And
while we're doing this, we obviously can't identify them, but can we see enough detail to see exactly what they are doing?
it looks like they've got some kind of masks on that are they're disguising their faces with big ass sunbursts, and they have looks like some kind of generic jumpsuit that you can't quite make out. unless maybe Maestro wants to try something fancy on the computer, because she's just using the general camera.
Right.
And she does
Right.
have the access code if you would like to try to do better.
Sure.
But what are they doing? Is the question.
Looks like one of them just opened your driver's side door.
Just now, okay.
Damn it.
And the one is on lookout for everybody. One was underneath the car and they just came out, so it looks like they deactivated your anti-theft device or your alarm.
Yeah.
And
So it's like,
the other one is waving at, it looks like a hand scanner. Basically, it's got like a screen, so it might be like a little scanner just to look into the vehicle. As he's like giving a thumbs up to the other guys, like there's nobody in the trunk.
alright. So I look at her like, well, looks like we got company.
You don't have a express elevator to that floor that bypasses the lobby, do you?
And
But they have
she's,
security. Send security.
she kind of looks at you guys. She's like, well, technically, and she kind of gestures to her window, describing exactly what Dante knew was there. That if in a pinch we can rappel out the window, but unfortunately the building security requires all elevators must go to the lobby first, or up to the roof.
Can we direct security to go down there and at least delay them?
And she's like, "Oh shit, yes!" Immediately, she goes up to her wall, and you can see she touches a discreetly hidden panel, that's basically the panic button, and immediately this automated system goes, "Emergency response security. You are an alpha priority customer. What would you like us to accomplish for you today?" And she's like, "There's people breaking into many cars down," and she looks at you again for what level?
Sub-level 2 by the elevator.
Sub-level 2 by the elevator. They've tampered with my friend's car and another car as well. And immediately the automated system is like, automated security measures will be enforced. They should have been activated previously. Are you sure the threat is still there? And pretty much on the camera that you're seeing, you can see the elevator is basically has a security lock button. You see that lights up saying it's under lockdown. And the elevator is coming down to that level from somewhere else. And you're seeing a little ticker tape go across the bottom of the display screen for the camera saying security measures being implemented. Lockdown of sub-level 2. And pretty much in real time, you're seeing like one of the guys, the guy that's on lookout, starts shouting and pointing. And all of a sudden, they all look the direction of the corkscrew ramp going up to street level. You're getting the impression that maybe either there's reinforcements coming or the ramp is closing. And then the one guy with the scanner immediately starts running in the opposite direction of what you know is the exit from the parking.
The opposite direction from the exit.
He's running away from the exit.
He's running away from the exit, like either to like a vehicle or to hide somewhere. Because you might be getting the impression that the doors are closing and he might be looking for another way out, or he might be getting to his vehicle to pull out a big ass gun. I mean, if Maestro wants to try to hack the cameras for more details, he can.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, we're gonna see what we can do.
Okay, and she is giving you her access codes if you'd like to ask. She's
That's
just like,
good.
this is a horrible picture. If you want to, chime up that you can make the picture better. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Ooh, drying
And
me
can
out
you,
before the end of the
Can
night.
you send it to my smart specs too?
Ooh, maybe.
Sure.
Let's find out.
And sure, and actually, you can give me the point back as well, because we're using our ready for anything.
Yep, your human thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and make your roll.
All right. And
Whoa!
So point of strain is you're flipping channels really quick. Because now that you've hacked it, you're like, ugh, who set up the security system? It's a mess. So you immediately are flicking because you take a point of strain because you're in a hurry. You find it instantly of the 4 different cameras in this level. And if you would like, you can turn down the infrared light on the camera.
Sure.
So that their safety measures are basically not working as well.
Yep.
If you had advantage, I'd fully let you see these guys' faces, but...
Right.
Shucky darn. So immediately you get the overview camera, because basically clients are only allowed to see the basic camera, like so you can see, hey, the parking lot's got spots free. And you immediately get the good cameras. So you immediately know that down below in the garage, there's the one guy that's running away. He seems to be running to a hover van that's down there, and he immediately is like throwing both the back doors open, and he's rummaging for something. You see the guy that was under the vehicle kind of gets up off the ground, rolls up his tools, puts them in a pouch, and immediately he kind of looks both ways and then starts running towards the vehicle and gets in the driver's side door. And the other 2 guys, look at each other and immediately pull out weapons that look, you can't quite get perfect detail on the pistols, but they're pulling out pistols that look suspiciously like service weapons.
You still want to go down there for your gun?
And then just about at that point, because security's been measured, you see, because now that you've hacked it and gotten to the good cameras, you have audio. And you hear these guys saying, we've got to bug out, abort the mission, we've been made. And, one of the guys pulls off his, what you now see is he's pulling it off, the glow is disappearing, and it's basically almost like a ski mask with glow coming off it, so it's obviously got some infrared reflectors on it. And you clearly see the face of the internal affairs officer. As
I turn to the DA and say, you seeing this?
As he pulls off the mask and whips something out of his, utility belt and puts it over his mouth, obviously some kind of respirator, as you hear this soft chime going, warning, parking lot subsector 2, currently under security lockdown. Please stay in your vehicles. If you are not in your vehicle, you will be subdued by non-lethal gas. And you just hear the... And of course, when you look in the cameras, you actually start to see like these short jets of CO2-looking gas that, the jet only goes a couple feet and disappears. But it's pumping that floor full of knockout gas.
Nice.
As immediately you're seeing, all of them kind of start to panic, except for the guy that put the breathing mask on, but he had to take his mask off because it covers your mouth. That sucks to be you, man.
Are you recording?
Choices. Of course. What the hell?
Wow.
Oh. I'm like, what the hell?
So, needless to say, 2 of them fall straight to the ground. It's the 2 guys dicking around at the van. The guy at the driver's wheel, you just see his head crash into the wheel, and you just hear the honking horn just go off, echoing across the place. The guy in the back throws a tarp off something and grabs something with 2 hands. It's really cylindrical, and immediately falls to the ground. And then all of a sudden, whatever he had in his hand discharges for his triumph and blows out the camera that you've been watching there with that. Then the guy with the breathing mask, that's the big damn triumph there that he did it in time, turns around, looks right at the camera, and shoots the camera out. But you do have that vital 5 seconds of his face on camera. Oh, yeah. And the other guy, you just see kind of gasping and coughing, and he kind of gets to his feet, and he's basically pointing at the elevator and pointing at the exit. And he's just like, which way do we go? You can see his hand gestures are throwing up like he doesn't know where we should go at this point. And just at that point, you see the ding of the elevator from the elevator's point of view, and you see 2 security bots, two heavy-duty security androids step off the elevator. And they look slightly less intimidating than 2 Terminators. As they just start doing their pre-recorded spiel in stereo, it's the same message just coming out of both microphones and the overhead microphone in the parking garage saying, lay down your weapons. Do not further damage this facility. You will be charged for all damages and responsible. And they just start shooting beanbags, and these two guys just dive back behind cars, as unfortunately they're shooting beanbags at the guys that are passed out in the van too.
They're all waking up later with bruises and shit going, what the fuck?
As the two guys are going to try to hightail it out of there. One guy, the guy that still wearing his mask but managed to shake off the knockout gas, runs and just gets pelted with beanbags and goes down for the count. His pistol goes flying out of his hand. The other guy, who's the internal affairs guy, who you guys have identified, he basically fades off and disappears into the parking garage. But then there's this like trail of car alarms where he's running. As he kind of trips and falls hard as you see his little respirator go flying off.
Nice.
Which then, of course, will require him to make another roll.
Yes. What a shame.
To which he succeeds.
Adrenaline.
Okay.
Good thing.
Is there anything special you guys are doing while you're watching this on a, 4-foot by 8-foot wide screen? As Maestro's flipping channels.
I'm gonna ask the assistant DA if if the police department has been notified, if the alarm automatically reports to the police department as well.
And she says it should, so she proceeds to, contact DEXA. Have police authorities been notified? And DEXA goes, negative. Police forces have discreetly told us they are practicing a drill in the building. So right now, all police messages have been discontinued for the next 28 minutes.
Call Estrada, go through Estrada and see if he's awake.
Ooh.
Can you, so we let him know about it.
Okay, so you're gonna text message your buddy?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and you
gonna,
get this drunken little booty text back. It's kind of winky face, heart eyes, eggplant, cat with heart eyes.
He is still out of it. I wonder if he's being kept sedated for some reason, or maybe he's in worse condition than we thought after being shot.
So I'll ask the DA again, is there any way you can override that lockdown?
And just as you're looking at her saying, is there any way you can override that lockdown? She's just like, I think you have to be a police inspector to do it, but I can make a phone call real quick. And just at that moment, you all kind of look back at the monitor as you see the internal affairs guy just get nailed with 2 beanbags to the back of the head.
Yes.
As he gets up, that last roll I did was his stealth to hide. Obviously, you can see he not only failed to hide, but he put his face in the line of sight. And they just, in unison, like gun turns, just... And he goes flying onto the ground, out cold.
Nice.
As the 2 androids respond back, and, DEXA chimes in in the room intercom saying, security forces have advised the car thief ring has been apprehended. Police have now been notified. When police authority are here, the lockdown will be undone. Do you require medical attention?
I thought it was going to be 28 minutes before he could get to the police.
Well, 28 minutes before any police reports can be made, now that they've apprehended someone, they're sending an apprehended car thief message. Computers, man, computers.
Okay.
Computer logic.
Right.
Clients can't call the cops, but the automated security team will make a targets apprehended. Of course, that's also going to be a non-priority call, by the way, as opposed to, you guys could totally just get a data pad and call 911.
Yeah.
And by the way, she's actually doing that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, just say something like officers down or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, but
Real
they're the
fast.
victims. They're the perps, so.
They'll figure that out.
You almost said Colt. What was this,
We
Thursday
hope.
night? Okay, so she basically calls the cops, and you guys see some vehicles, respond. They go to the roof and then come down from the roof into the lobby. The security there says the lobby's secure, she puts a little message out of she wants to know from you guys before she has cops come up to the room. Do you want to be here when they get here? She's getting the idea from our sneaky courier that you guys might not be legit.
Prefer not to.
Yeah.
We've done our good deed. We'd prefer to,
And we don't know how many more there are than the ones we've recorded.
Do you want to... And she kind of looks at the window like, do you want to go out the front? Because, she's not employing the elevator. Or do you want to hide in my panic room until the police leave?
Well, how long before they get here again?
And she said as soon as they arrest the folks down there, they'll be right up here.
Oh, well.
Well, if we trigger the window thing, that'll be noticeable, I would imagine, once that's activated.
Once you three hit the ground, yeah.
Or why don't we just take the elevator down and walk out the front door? Like they might see us, but if they don't know who we are already, they won't put two and two together.
Possible.
Sure.
We just play it cool and walk out.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, you look at her and you're just like, hey, we're legit. We can walk out the front door. And you're not looking at the repelling lines. You're looking at the elevators, the front door. And she's just like, and she thanks you guys profusely. And in each of your hands, she hands you a plastic card. Basically, it's a blank card. It's like grayish, but it's got a little scan bar on it. And she just says, if you ever need any help, you can reach me with this card. And it's basically one of those, you put it up against your data pad and it'll call that number.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll hand her one of our cards. Even though you don't trust us, here you go.
Oh, do you say that?
No, that was inner monologue.
Okay.
Do we have her name?
Yeah. She is Assistant DA Karen Dahlia.
She's a Karen. Oh my God.
Thank you. Okay.
As I was just typing and none of it came up because I was in something else. Okay, and she basically, she looks at you guys in like a mix of awe and she's kind of charmed as you guys are hopping in the elevator. Okay, so one of you guys give me a cool check. Now, you guys can assist so you can have the best combination of, or just add a blue.
I have 3 greens.
I have 2 greens.
What are we looking for? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Or I'll take a
yellow and
deception.
I got a yellow and a green.
I have 2 greens and a yellow for deception.
Do I have deception?
It all depends if you're going to be walking out with deception like an alias or with cool like in, leverage.
Where is deception? I don't have deception.
It's under, yeah.
Oh, social down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, Maestro,
I got
you and
three green.
I have 2 green and a yellow for that. So if you and I work together with cool, then we could do that, or I can get us through with deception. Either way.
Yeah.
I kind of vote for playing it cool,
Sure.
and and also if I'm kind of like taking point, maybe my indistinguishable can help, so we don't get recognized. Maybe, I don't know.
All right.
Okay, so I've got
That'll
a
work.
blue for the aid there in there for you. So go ahead and give me a cool roll.
Oh, well, he has a yellow and I have 3 green, so it would be a yellow and 2 green, right?
Yep, so an upgrade. Let me put the upgrade in there.
Yeah,
for you.
so upgrade instead of blue. Okay, let's see. Where's that cool? Oh, darn it. You beat me to it.
Yes, upgrade on the other side too.
Okay, and so if it's to recognize, they get a failure. If it's not to recognize, then it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So we did not play it cool.
So immediately you guys are walking out all cool, just trying to get past security. As 2 officers immediately do the whole hold up there. there's like 3 or 4 other people besides you guys leaving, but you're the 3 folks that they distinguishedly say hold up. As all of a sudden you
course.
kind of realize that Darwin must have like a bloody handprint from carrying chess.
Oh, sure. Always blame Darwin.
So, and immediately the cops are just like, "Hey, you guys, stop. We have some questions for you." The most potent purples of the night. So what do you guys do? Is they do you're just like within 2 arms length to the doors as these 2 cops call you on your shit of hey you, we have to ask you questions before you can leave this crime scene.
No speaking English.
Oh, now you want to be deceptive. I mean, you guys could totally just pull in athletics and run your ass to your car. I mean, oh wait, you don't. It's a crime scene down there.
We're not gonna get that way. Actually, I'll just maybe just pretend like we didn't hear and keep walking.
Okay, they will. Are you guys continuing with him?
Sure.
I'm just literally, I'm just gonna I guess deceptive and just make it look like I didn't even hear him. Just kept going.
Okay, in that case, give me a deception check.
Yeah, and we can chat, make it look like it's legit. Oh yeah, hey, by the way, I did see that movie you were telling me about. It's it's off the chain, man. Those old movies are crazy.
I mean, this is a risky, apartment complex. There are some rich entitled pricks in this place, so there's a chance it could work. Go ahead. I got a blue dice in there for your friends talking about the latest movie, and apparently you want an upgrade as I was chitter-chatting away. Go ahead and take it. Roll it when you got it.
All right.
Oh,
wow. And immediately again, you can practically hear in unison. They both put their hands on their service weapons. You're not sure if it's their taser or their gun, and they give you the "I said halt. I said halt again." But you have 3 advantages that could provide a maneuver.
Is there any one person they're speaking to particularly, or is it to all 3?
It sounds like a large booming voice to the 3 people trying to leave the door.
All right. Okay, so let's see, 3 advantage. I would like to maybe make my next interaction check. Get I guess a blue die or something on my next interaction with them. Because we're appearing like, sorry, I didn't hear you. What is it I can do for you? Sorry, we were just chatting about these, those 21st century cinema and.
Now, don't forget that deception did not fly, so they did not buy that for a second. But
right. Okay,
if you want, for those 3 advantage, I'll let you have one of the other guys do an athletics roll to say you guys rush out the door if you want. You were within arm's reach of the door.
I would not be the one making the athletics check, so.
I've got a yellow and a green in athletics.
Hey, I'll just do it. I've got a yellow and 2 green. So
it has to be somebody else since you've already gone.
Oh, since I've gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
totally.
Darwin, why don't you do it?
Dante's
okay.
And then I want to steal that back.
So we're gonna make a run for it.
Okay, and I'm also going to give you a blue since you guys are working together. As you're basically going to run for it, right? So it's your athletics versus their athletics. As Darwin just says, the jig is up, grabs you both by the scruff of the neck, and flies through the automated door. I mean, we at least want advantage. At least advantage. So go ahead and roll when ready, as these cops are going to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to stop you.
So afraid to roll.
Okay.
Wow.
So, interesting shit happens. I have a really cool thing that will save your bacon if you'd like for the triumph. So you start to run, and immediately one of the cops gets on his radio and just said, "Lock down front door," and the door goes ka-chink. As you kind of bang into the door. I'm sure you probably put Maestro's face into it first. So who's going to take the 2 strain for getting their face mashed into the glass door? That's not glass.
I'll take it.
Okay, so you come running in there, your shoulder like bang, because you were going to push your way through the door if need be, but it just locked down. And the cop's like super snide that he managed to get that locked down before you did, because he's smart. And then you kind of recognize these 2 cops immediately. They're going to be that running gag apparently in the game, where there's the one heavyset guy, which is why you had that second blue dice, because he's not a runner. And immediately they have got their tasers out in their left hands, and they're ready to, if you guys don't surrender, they will tase your ass. What would you like for that triumph? Or do you trust me? Will you put your life in my hands?
Darn, it's your call.
Well, I mean, the best I can think of is invoking Karen's name.
Or have her come down into the lobby, like, at that moment.
Or you find the poop chute and you jump down it for escape.
Or you find what?
You find the poop chute and you jump down it to escape.
Ooh.
I'm kidding, by the way. Like a laundry chute, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Or you trust his solution.
I mean, I'll trust his solution because I don't know. I mean, like I said, the only thing I can think of is Karen saving us or showing up.
Okay, so you're trusting in me. It's good to trust in the gym. Because immediately you hear this ominous, as you guys are like looking at the glass, but you see the 2 cops' reflections as they're walking up on you tactical style. Cops are looking to shoot you guys down because they don't know who the hell you guys are, but you guys do not look like you belong in this zip code. You're in 90210, and you guys do not look like that caliber of people. And then immediately you hear the elevator go ding, and you hear this like cadence of boot steps. As immediately you hear Karen's voice crack across the lobby as she just yells, "What are you doing?" And like every cop in the room kind of shudders, like, what the hell? As she just, you poignantly hear her throw out there that those 3 people are the heroes of my department and this city. Get your weapons off them. And immediately the only 2 guys that are drawing weapons in this whole lobby out of these 12 cops immediately drop their weapons, and the older guy kind of looks back and just kind of like pulls his cap off and scratches his head like, what? That innocent sheepishness of scratching your head and putting your cap back on. And the kid's just like pointing his gun at the ground, but he's like not keeping his eyes off you for a second, because he's like he's that young cub that's wanting to prove himself on the force. And you just hear her voice say, "These are special agents working for the DA's office. They did what you couldn't do and kept our witness safe. You will let them leave right now without asking any further questions to protect their anonymity and my case. Or do I have to get you reprimanded and possibly fired from the force?" And of course the kid just like immediately looks to his partner like, what do we do? And he just looks at the kid and goes, "Sorry, our mistake, ma'am." And he looks at the kid like, yeah, stop pointing your gun. Put it back in your holster. And the kid like puts his gun in the holster and kind of like grabs his radio on his shoulder and kind of goes, "Security lockdown lifted on front doors, please." And he gives this access code that you can barely hear because he's purposely saying it super quiet. It's like somebody giving their bank card in a public place. Super quiet talking. And you guys just see the red light turn green and the door catch kind of pop.
I'm going to turn around and give them a full fang grin.
Ooh. As immediately we now know that they thought it might have been you guys that they pulled over, and now they know it's you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'll just kind of say softly to Karen, like, if just kindly let us know when a good time if it'll be a good time sometime in the near future to come back for our car. In the meantime, thank you.
You shout this
In the
across the
meanwhile,
lobby.
Thank you. No,
Yeah,
I wanted to
was
go.
gonna say.
I wanted to go over and say to her quietly.
Okay, so you walk up to
Since
her
they're not gonna
as you
arrest-
walk
I'll
past
walk
these
back
two
to her
cops,
just-
and they're just giving you the stink eye. Like, if I see you on the street, we're having words. We're having a conversation. Too bad you seem to be indistinguishable.
I'll blink at them.
As
And
you, you parkour
like
over this
stepping out
cool
the door.
counter, because that sounds like the
Dang it.
cool thing you do. As you ask her that, and she's just like, I'll definitely be in touch with your agency.
Okay, thank you.
And-
And thank you for that, I say.
Then you guys walk out like bosses and catch a cab.
Well, he
Yeah.
started walking back. I slipped out. I'm like, I'll wait for you outside.
Okay, so we have screen swipe to a couple days later at the Curious Agency. You guys are sitting around your fancy table. Little hollow message pops up from your boss as she's letting you know that you guys did well. The witness had so much publicity that there was no further attempts on his life. His sister is currently in federal protection. And the fact that he's given his statement twice, it's been recorded. So even if anything were to happen to him, which I don't believe, his message is safe. And I've got two folks wanting to talk to you guys.
Sure.
And you guys get this cha-ching that you guys have 1,200 credits each for your normal pay come through. And it looks like the
Each?
DA's office has given you guys 2,000 credits to split amongst yourselves. And immediately you get the hollow message, do you want to answer visual or audio?
Visual.
Okay.
Unless Maestro objects.
Well, I got my hooded clothing on, so I mean, I
Oh,
kind of
okay.
move out of view of the camera.
He looks like his
Alright,
icon.
I'll go visual.
Okay, so you've each got your normal 1,200 credits.
1,200 credits. Whew.
We're rich.
Now remember, that's above and beyond your regular living expenses. So
We're rich.
That's huge money.
And you said 2,000 split?
yep, 2K to split.
Nice.
That's
So,
definitely much more than my 2 credits that I had all this time.
So we each get 666 credits?
All right. Okay.
Okay, so who's calling?
Okay, so you guys hit the accept button, and immediately a little hologram pops up of everyone's favorite detective and everyone's favorite assistant DA on 2 different screens. They're having a group chat. And immediately, the DA is talking to somebody, and she's sipping her coffee as she realizes, oh, I'm on camera. And she's like, I would just like to say thank you again for what you did. I mean, not only have you put a group of bad police officers who make a bad name for the department away for a very long time. Once they go to trial, I can promise you they will be away for a very long time. But you've managed to keep a good but misunderstood, and she kind of looks off in the distance like she's looking at a picture of him on the wall or something. Misunderstood person who really had his heart in the right place to protect his sister and was willing to make this city a better place.
No.
Oh, over the last 48 hours, there have been 5 different raids on the Chrome Mogwai's facilities, as well as the arrest of over 8 police officers for corruption.
Nice. Wow.
And she kind of looks on her data pad to the detective, and the detective kind of he does this, adjusts his collar because he's feeling a little warm with the whole police corruption thing. As he looks there, he says, yes, I definitely like to thank the Curious Agency for the upstanding assistance you've again, and he looks at her picture, again provided our police department as informants as well as special agents, and you will definitely see the maximum we were allowed to pay you for your assistance and your expenses. As you can see, he's kind of lying, but kind of telling the truth, And again he like leans the camera back so you can see he's just getting out of the hospital with his arm in a sling. He's getting pushed out in a wheelchair. On his camera you see it wiggle as it pans back to the nurse the nurse android pushing him out.
I'm going to say, I told you, man, feather in your cap.
As he just kind of smiles at Darwin with that one. It's just like, you did me a solid. And you guys know. And he kind of looks at her picture like he doesn't want to say too much. But I always reciprocate my favors to my friends. He just gives you that winky eye. And again, Curious Agency, I'd like to thank you for everything you've done for this city. And I promise your names will be left off of any of my reports. And he kind of winces and looks at the assistant DA because you know that the DAs don't like that shit.
Right.
They expect to know everything. And he just like, oh, here's my ride. I have to go. And he kind of winks out. As, she just kind of like has like dead silence for a few seconds as she's waiting for you guys to say something.
So, how'd you make out in all this? Any chance we're going to see you in the big office come next election season? She
kind of smiles and she's like, well, I have it on good account from the DA that this is definitely a feather in my cap. And as a sign of my personal appreciation, it's going to be another 2 weeks before your vehicle is unimpounded. But I've made arrangements with our police department seizure team that there is a decommissioned police cruiser, hover cruiser, that I can have provided for your organization as a reward for protecting our client and having him turned in.
Thank you very much. That's
and
very
just send me the address. Send me the address you'd like it delivered to.
Okay, I'll type that through real quick.
Okay, so what address do you give her?
I'll just have them deliver it at our headquarters.
Okay. So you're giving your headquarters address away. I love it.
Oh, it's just. Oh, is that? Well, she's the DA.
It's totally a legit place. I mean, if she Googled you guys, she might find you guys anyway. So.
Yeah.
How about delivered to the actual corporation location? This is our hideout location, right? So there's an actual corporation address, right?
There's a business address. It's really just empty. 3 empty offices.
Yeah.
Oh, then let's do that instead. You're right.
That's okay.
Better idea.
It's basically one of those
such a thing.
Business compounds where you basically have 3 desks and 3 offices in a row that are just empty.
Yeah, that's the business front that's on the internet.
It's on the internet, and the only one in the office is the future Roomba who cleans the place. And he does do windows. Okay, and she basically lets you...
I know that Darwin would never forgive me if I don't ask, but what about the stuff that was in the car?
She basically gives you guys this look that none of the items are being entered as evidence per se, other than that you were the victims of a vehicle assault. The items that were found attached to your vehicle have been seized since they are not standard items. And the few belongings that we found in the trunk, and she kind of gives you this squinty eye, are currently being tested by ballistics and then will be put back in the vehicle for you to claim.
Okay.
As all of a sudden, Darwin's worrying about that laser pistol.
That's what I was like. I knew you would never forgive me if I didn't ask.
No, but the problem is, it may have been used in a crime.
Yeah, we don't know.
It was not originally mine.
Right.
It's a found object.
Yeah.
It has its own history. And she basically lets you guys know that she has assisted our detective in increasing the normal informant payout for the assistance that you guys provided. And she hopes that the police cruiser will, serve you better than the vehicle you had, because I've personally seen this vehicle and it's seen better days.
Yeah. You're telling us we were in it when it got those holes.
And you'll be glad to know that we're having the vehicle team at the police department repair the vehicle for you. So it should be in back to factory, standards when you get it back.
Oh, wow. You are very generous. Thank you. So now we have 2 cars. That's awesome.
Now you have 2 automobiles. One being a decommissioned police cruiser, which is going to be better than your standard vehicle.
Yeah.
Might not die if you hit one motorcycle.
Yeah, who
'cause
knew?
they have souped up engines and shit.
Yep.
That on them.
So you guys got 20 experience. That's a good place to wrap it up as you guys are having your decommission conversation. Kiris tells you that she's definitely pleased that you've protected him. She projects that there's a strong possibility that by doing this you will improve the city's morale with the police department and the citizens, because it only takes one bad officer to ruin the people's heart and souls for their protectors.
Yep.
And the fact that she's extra proud of you guys because there's minimal loss of life. She includes you in the equation, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Thanks for thinking of us.
And the fact that and the hollow of your vehicle that's all shot up pops up, and the fact that the vehicle will eventually return to us in serviceable condition. As all of a sudden you're seeing a tactical display looking at, little boxes go out and frame all the bullet holes and describe the caliber of weapon that was in it, The little dents from where the guy put the crowbar on the door to try to pop it open, but it didn't want to open.
Was there any investigation into the snipers on the roof?
There was. Basically, they don't know who the snipers were, but they were using military weapons. The forensics team did not find anything sufficient dependent on anyone in particular. But of course, investigators believe it was a political terrorist group, basically saying it had nothing to do with this case, that was shooting random passerbys. Which, of course, tells you how much how the press is, set up. And of course, my show tells you guys that there's conspiracy nuts everywhere saying, it was not a random shooting by political dissidents. It was actually this group of the week or this group of the week.
Nice.
As the DA's office is totally saying it's not this special case that's still behind closed doors. Because we totally don't want to admit we had civilians keeping one of our witnesses safe.
Right.
So do you guys have anything you're doing to wrap up before your next job?
Just
Well,
trying to figure out.
We have a little. I don't know if I specifically am. I mean, I'm probably going to need to pick up some gear of some kind. But any guidelines as to what are what the rules on about supplying ourselves before next time is?
So if it's not high rarity, you can just buy it. If it's high rarity, we'll have to find someone ne'er-do-wellish for you to buy from.
Okay.
What are you considering high rarity?
Yeah.
Anything over 6, so 7 and above.
Okay, so 6 and under we can just buy. Okay,
Yep.
Cool.
So that way, if you want something truly shady, we can actually start the next mission with you guys at the truly shady place. And just let me know what kind of truly shady place or stuff you're looking for, so that way I can write up a truly shady place. It's all about the shady
All
shady.
right.
Ooh, combat shotgun's only a rarity 5. All right.
It's a shotgun.
Whoa.
Everybody's got a shotgun behind the bar or inside
Combat
the closet.
shotgun, auto fire, blast 5, inaccurate 1, vicious 2.
It's a street sweeper.
Oof.
1,000 credits, but oh no, it's ours restricted. Dang it! Right?
Yep, ours restricted.
They put it
So-
under price. That's weird.
Well, now that we actually have some cash.
Yeah,
I know.
Would I be able to get a tail?
I don't know what the rates of that is. Let me check and I'll get back with you on that.
Thank you.
Also,
Okay.
anyone who is interested in getting cybernetics, your friend Esme sent you a friend of hers location. It's chrome wings, and they'll basically, you name drop her, and she'll make sure you get a discount. She's under police protection, so she can't do it herself. So you're not getting the really good discount she was going to offer. But because she was totally hoping your charming guy would take her under his wing and protect her. He was totally hoping. She was totally hoping. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, she can stay in contact,
So you got like two
She's got
things
the
on the
number.
side. You got two options on the side going there.
never hurts to date a vet assistant. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Got a vet assistant. Got that chick. Boy, you just getting all the little connections there.
Just go find
Well,
the nearest
you-
stray animal and take it into the shop saying, I found this poor guy and he needs his shots.
or another, witness.
Freaking Casanova over here.
Well, what you're gathering is that one of his fears is to be alone and isolated. So he makes up for that by being very friendly with people.
Aww.
And so having a bunch of girls waiting on the side, hoping that he calls or I see that's just really sick.
He's just putting himself out there.
He wasn't breastfed long enough as a child.
But not committing. Yeah. Okay.
Well, he's also not he's flirting. He's not not stringing them along or anything. Beyond that. It's
Well, you
innocent.
got
It's
two
innocent.
waiting for you now. So
All right, there, moral compass.
As he's sitting there getting high in his supply.
hey, what are you talking about? I don't do that.
Okay, so that's
Moral
definitely a
compass.
good place to wrap it up there.
Alrighty.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you
Good
much.
job, guys.
Thank you. That was fun.
Well
That
done.
went off almost without a hitch.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, except for that one despair, it was all mostly on your
Oh my
favor.
God.
Double triumphs, man. Double triumphs.
Yeah, although those purple dice were very active today.
Yep. I mean, they were hurting. Of course,
Yeah.
I will throw it out there and say not as bad as my Friday night group, where they couldn't succeed in any roll except like the last two rolls they did. And it was all average stuff. But then again,
Oh,
half the bad guys died falling off of horses because fall damage sucks.
falling off of horses?
Falling off of horses, it's a short distance fall. We all know how bad
yeah.
falling is. And they might not have hit to damage their targets, but they kept getting 3 advantage and pushing people off horses.
Oh my gosh.
Funny, but sad.
Well, too bad I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
shoot ranged heavy. Damn it.
Oh,
That's
now
what
you're
you-
thinking something range.
Well, I was. Yeah, I mean, I had the one pistol, but the special use permit, but that's for heavy range. The character does not treat any ranged heavy weapon as restricted. But I don't want range heavy. I want range light.
You want something not, horribly bad and, limb blowing off.
Well, I just need something for backup. I don't need a cannon. I'm busy with other things.
Hmm.
Oh well.
Alrighty, guys, and don't forget to put the
Alright.
20 experience on your character sheet, unless you've
Yeah,
already
oh, yeah.
spent it.
Now I'm already working on it, as you can see.
Not yet. You gotta figure it out.
I didn't
And
spend the last
just for you
experience either.
conspiracy theorists out there, don't worry, your decommissioned police cruiser is registered to the Curious Foundation,
Oh,
a subsidiary of the Curious Agency.
Oh, okay. So it's not a lease vehicle. So, okay.
Nope, it's basically been given over to you guys as custody.
Okay. Because we used to, when I worked at the dealership, we used to service the Manus vehicles, and they would come in. They were O'Reilly lease vehicles.
Less
is what
maintenance
they
that
were
way.
that they were listed as, but you'd have these undercover guys coming in, dropping off their shit, their lease, O'Reilly lease vehicle. Yeah.
They're like, "Can you fix this? I hit somebody."
No, that was the criminals coming in with their vehicle, dropping it off, and here's my pager number, and it would sit in the lot for like 3 weeks, or sometimes longer than that, 3 to 2 months. It would sit in the lot before they'd come pick it up. It was Mom's car dropping off for repair, and
They want to make sure the popo ain't waiting for them when they get back.
Wow.
Yeah, just getting it off the street. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you didn't have proof, but you kind of knew.
The unspoken, rules of the underworld.
Yeah, it was fun. It's like, undercover police dropping off their vehicle. We don't know they're police though. And 2 hours ago I just had some criminal dropping his vehicle off. How nice.
You want to check those plates, officer?
I couldn't do that, so.
Had to have probable cause.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it was very intriguing. You wouldn't think, just being a service advisor at a dealership, but yeah.
Shady.
So. All right, guys.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks
Later.
again,
Thank you.
guys.
Yep,
See y'all
good job.
later.
Bye.
And have a good Memorial Day.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. You too.